welcome to the Grown Up Show, everybody. We're being a grown up, as always, up for debate. My name is Danny Barros, alongside my good buddy Anthony Hall.
What's up?
Episode 7, man, and we have actual sports to talk about this week. We have actual sports to watch this week. This is a major milestone for society in the last 4 months. We are actually resuming competition, athletics. There is going to be some trash talking finally,
Yes.
for good reason.
Yes.
I'm
and
excited.
That doesn't involve just me and you going at each other.
Yes. Or
multiple people.
Or yelling at your significant other or whatever the hell the case may be. We're gonna actually see some real life drama in between the lines.
Yes. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited because it's gonna be very different. Like the baseball season's crazy, but we got some check-ins real quick before we get too deep.
Yeah. So what's up, dude? How's the week been so far?
Good. Another week where I feel like it's like halfway over and I don't even remember what I've done. Just a busy week. Nothing special. My wife so we work from home full time right now. We get supplied things from work. So my wife got her desk came in. So I built that. Our desks are from this brand called Autonomous, which is actually their stuff's legit, man. We got sit to stand desks. They're really cool. So pretty easy to put together. But so I took a half day just to get her all situated. And so now we're 100% in our home office. It's pretty nice. I got some wall art, some super sick wall art that came in today. I'll post it when I hang it up and try to hang it up tomorrow. So I'm really excited about it. So
I saw that stuff. That stuff looks pretty sweet, man.
Yeah, they're big too, man. They're 4 feet by 2 or 3 feet, 4 feet by 2 feet maybe. But they're pretty sick, dude. So it's like a colorful skyline of San Francisco and one of Portland, like the two cities that are my life, I guess. So
yeah,
just thought it'd be cool.
One's chapter 1, the other one's chapter 2.
Yeah, so. Yeah, and I'm excited because I'm gonna throw them up behind me, so when my work camera's on, you can see them. Because I'm getting kind of tired of it. It's funny because the room is actually a dark teal color, right? But through the hokey little webcam that I use for my work computer, it comes out almost black. And people are always commenting I look like I'm in a cave. Or the other day, the funny one I got was I look like I'm in the Real World confessional booth. So it'll be nice to just have some colors back there to give some depth, so I don't look.
You could always use the virtual background from time to time.
Yeah, but that's cheesy too, though. I don't know. I just feel like it's real hokey.
It's so cheesy, but what I'm coming to find, especially as we're moving closer to baseball season, I don't work with just Giants fans, and people are using their backgrounds to trash talk, and we got some Dodger fans that work for us, and a few people got the Beat LA's backgrounds going on.
That's funny. That's pretty good.
It is. It definitely provides some comedic relief in some of these meetings, and you've got a good 5-10 minutes at the beginning to sort of just banter about things, and it's pretty cool, man. It's fun.
Yeah. I mean, they serve purposes sometimes. One dude I work with actually, because not everyone lives in an environment where they can comfortably work from home,
Right.
And this one dude I work with, super cool dude, but he was in a very small apartment or something where I don't know his whole situation. He's very unique. He uses terms. He's from, I don't want to give too much detail about him without his permission, but he's from a different country, and some of the terms he used mean different things here, like partner. So I don't know what that means to him, but basically, long story short, he's been working the last 4 months from his bathroom.
Wow.
So he threw up one of those virtual backgrounds of an office environment, which was kind of cheesy at first, but after a while you kind of get used to it, and then it's it's better than seeing his sink and toilet and stuff. So sometimes he'd sit on the floor. So I mean, I guess they do serve their purposes, but for me, I'm just kind of I don't know, not for me.
We had a couple people that literally took pictures of their desk at work, from behind the computer screen, so that it would make it look like they're sitting at their in their office.
Yeah,
but they're not. They're at home. Like,
Oh,
it's
that's
just their
funny.
virtual background that makes it appear like they're in their office, you
That's
know?
funny, man. Um,
But,
but yeah,
yeah,
that's it. Like
people
that's
getting
really
creative.
that was the highlight of my week so far. I can't even remember what I did over the weekend. I think I just was, did a little bit of house chores and stuff like that.
Yeah, we've been
Um,
laying low as this whole coronavirus thing has been sort of picking up. I mean, we
yeah.
haven't gone too far, but
Yeah, no, we're I mean, like I said last episode, we had like a very small coronavirus scare. So it just makes you realize like how crazy this can be.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
recap, my mother-in-law had some symptoms, but she ended up just who knows, but she got tested and it was negative. So but just like the thought of like, quarantining her, what we have to do, sterilizing
Oh, yeah.
everything, like just so much, man. It's
Yeah,
crazy,
it
but
doesn't seem like a big deal when you're not directly dealing with it,
yeah.
because it's like, "Oh, yeah, it's this thing we have to worry about," and,
Yeah.
it's such a terrible thing that we're going through, but, like, when it actually makes its way inside your inner circle, that's when it's like, "Oh, shit," you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
One of my other coworkers, she was telling me that her cousin got accepted into like the police force and went to the academy, and like 30 people, including him, got COVID. Like
wow.
it's just it blows my mind. And we're not going to get into this episode. We got some fun stuff to talk to, but real quick, it just blows my mind how there are people out there that don't think this is real.
Oh, I
Like
know.
it's amazing to me. But anyways, yeah, so that's it for me. Just the good old fashioned dad week.
Yeah, you
Doing
started doing
stuff.
the old walks again though, right?
Yeah, so I got my sleeves finally. My well, I guess technically I've had them for a few days now, but my compression sleeves for my shin splints, and then this rash I've had cleaned up. So I got back to the walk / runs. I don't know what to call them, dude, because it's like I walk half of it and I run half of it. So it's like
It's more like a
it's
trot.
a rock. It's a rock.
It's like a trot.
Yeah, it's like a trot. I like that. But I got back to it yesterday, and it was nice because like I didn't go for about a week and a half, which is fine because like I didn't gain any weight. Like I did really good with my eating, so I did check my weight, and I only lost like about a pound over the last week or two, which is fine. I'm like we've said in the past, like I'm not in any hurry. For me, it's really like a long term change of lifestyle thing. So but it's nice knowing that I don't have to work out or be active and can stay consistent with the weight. So
Right,
but
yeah, yeah. It's
that's
half the
part of it.
battle is the
Yeah.
exercise, the other half is what happens in the kitchen, you know?
Yeah. But it was nice
So
that yesterday I did I did my standard little circle here. And I felt like I didn't skip a beat or anything. So it was good. And then
no,
today
it's
I
sick,
actually
man.
added about a half a mile. So I felt good. So yeah,
How do you
back at
feel
it.
when you add something like that? Because now you're next time you go out for a run, you're gonna feel like you have to, like you just raise the bar, you know?
Yeah, so I feel good and I want to do it. The thing that's weird is I'm gonna have to figure it out because I walk out my front door and I just go. And the way like my neighborhood's designed, it's I can't even explain it. It's on this crazy hill and it's very unique. So like I've hit my limit to where the next like loop I were to add would be like a 2 mile loop. So I'm like,
Yeah.
and I hate the whole like running halfway and turning around thing. Like it's weird to me. So
Yeah, you wanna just go one continuous
yeah.
loop, you
So
know? I'm
so
with you.
what I think I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna attempt to start running it more to see if I can get to close. I don't think I'll ever be able to run the whole thing because the couple of the hills are brutally steep, dude. Like it's ridiculous. So, but I
Yeah.
think what I'm gonna do from now is just try to run more and more until I get almost there, and then what I'll do is I'll switch back to like the half walk, half run, and I'll add that extra 2 mile loop and just go for it. I think that's what I'm kind of thinking at because I've been looking at the map and I drove around today. Like you actually recommended me to do that. And there's no real easy way there, and it sucks because there's this one thing that would be perfect, and I thought there was going to be a path that like a walking path that connected two streets, but there's not. So, and I'm not going to be some weirdo running through someone's backyard. Maybe earlier in life, but not at 35 with 3 kids, you know? So,
Or you knock on their door one
yeah.
afternoon, you just be like,
Hey,
"Hey, you know what? I was just really wondering, I was gonna do these runs. Is it cool if I just, like, slip through? You're just gonna see me from time to time, you know?
yeah, I know, like, I'll walk right past your bedroom window, but, you know, don't worry about it. I won't look in.
Don't be alarmed, it's
Yeah,
just me."
it's just me, some random fat white dude. You know, don't worry about it. No, I think that's what's next. But yeah, I mean,
What,
it
knocking
is
on
what it
someone's
is. It's
door?
cool. I have a rant I need to do real quick. Okay.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So I ordered this stupid fucking exercise bike. Excuse my language, but I'm really, really pissed off about this, right? I researched the hell out of these damn bikes. And I went with the Schwinn C6. Okay. I just looked at it. I felt like it was the best. I like the I forget what it's called, but it's like the magnetic resistance.
It's a
Because
spin bike, right? Like a
yeah,
stationary bike? Yeah.
yeah, but I got one it's magnetic resistant, so it's like two magnets lower over the
Yeah.
wheel, and I like that because they're super quiet, because this is something I'm gonna have in the house, and like the only time I can exercise is when everyone's in bed, really. So
Right.
I love this idea, and the reviews were really good. It was in my price range, so I'm like, cool, I'll order it. So I did it, done deal. I was excited about it. Get this alert. Um, will be delivered within 60 days, which I was like, damn, that's hella long, but I get
It
it.
is
The
all wrong.
COVID thing, it's all good.
Yeah.
My buddies, I have a couple buddies that have the Peloton. They rave about it. And and I'm like, I could do the Peloton. I could put that money down and then just pay the payments. They have like no,
Right.
um, what's it called? Interest
No,
payments. It's like
yeah, yeah.
$100 a month. It's like, I could easily do that. But the thing I liked about the Schwinn is like, I understand the Peloton. It comes with like the built-in screen, and you have their
The
stuff, but
trainer and all that stuff,
yeah,
yeah.
and that's cool and all, but like people need to realize, like, I'm going in this casual, right, and I'm gonna work it up. So like my goal was just to have my iPad. I can throw on some TV shows, and I can just go to town for an hour and do my own thing, and then as I get there, I can start taking these little classes and stuff. But the Peloton, like, you can't use that screen for anything but their classes, which I think is like a real waste. I know, like, you can jailbreak it and all that, but then it voids the warranty and yada yada. So anyways,
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm cool. And it's like 3 times as much as this bike. So I've been checking this thing every couple days just to see, because you know how things are. It's COVID right now. Things are crazy. You'll see like for example, my artwork from my office was not supposed to be here until the first week of next month, and it showed up today. So I've just
Yeah.
been checking it, seeing like, hey, maybe I'll get lucky and it'll, only take a month or something. So I've been checking every day, same thing. Yesterday I check it, and now out of nowhere it magically says 90 days. So it's gone back an entire month. So now I'm like, dude, by the time this thing shows up, I'm not even gonna need it. Like, I'm gonna
Or
be
you're not
skinny.
gonna want it anymore.
Yeah. So I'm really starting to decide, like, if I should just pull the trigger and get the stupid freaking Peloton, man.
You probably should. It's the reason they don't want you to watch anything else on that is because if you're gonna ride this, they want you engaged in this thing. It's like they figure if you're gonna, the money is in the programming. The money that they've invested is in the programming. And if they let other people just throw up Netflix on there, then you're not gonna use the programming, and you're probably not gonna get, the
Yeah.
workout out of it that you want anyway. So
Yeah, and I get that, but I just feel like for freaking like this thing's like almost $3,000. You should be able to use the damn thing for more than just their stupid ass show. And this is the other thing that really triggers me about Peloton, is it's like a monthly fee for their courses. It's like $40 a month or something. It's like,
yeah, so it's
it's
like
like,
you
dude, you're paying
it's still like a gym
$3,000 and then
membership.
$40 a month. And I guess right
Yeah.
now, like, it's free because of COVID, and that's great. But like, COVID ain't gonna be here forever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just like, it kind of triggered me because like I'm the most motivated I think I've ever been with losing weight. Like, usually it's like, all right, I'll flip the trigger on eating, and then that's how I lose the weight. But this is like the first time I can recall being super motivated to eat better and be like exercising. And this thing is just like a roadblock. And I'm super picky with bikes. Like, I've had my wife's been like, oh, sending me bikes. And I'm like, like, I'm just picky with anything I buy. I'm picky. I'm just spoiled little
picky
brat.
fellow.
So I want what I want. I liked that bike because it looked cool. It had like it was one of the only ones that people reviewed it that are my height and said, like, it fits a person upwards of 6'4", 6'5". And I just like it. I felt like it was the one for me. But now I'm getting kind of frustrated that it's gonna take 3 months to get here. Like that's crazy, man. I
I would
get
cancel the
COVID,
order.
but fuck,
I would
dude.
cancel the order and go a different direction.
Yeah, so
You
I'm
know,
gonna think
or you
about it
can
the
buy
next
like a
couple of
real
days.
bike. You know, and for 3 months you can ride a real bike. You know?
Yeah, but that's the problem is like with the real bike, which I'm all for, but don't forget where I live. You know, like we only get a couple months of this nice weather, and then I'm gonna be battling rain, which I want to be comfortable doing this, and riding in the rain doesn't seem like something to be fine with every once in a while, but I don't want to do that every day. You know?
No, yeah. It's all right if you get caught in a storm, but you don't want to like head out in one.
Yeah. So the other thing I've really been looking into is, like I said before, the punching bag, and I think I might pull the trigger on that because that's literally like Amazon Prime 2-day thing, and maybe that'll stretch the time. I don't know. I got to think about it, but it just pisses me off that you can go backwards and like and get a notification or anything. So
well, I don't know if it's like do they just like have such a demand that they just can't keep up.
I mean, I don't know, bro. Like,
because like I don't think that the supply chain has been disrupted that much to where the delivery channels should take that long. I think they must just have so many people want these things, and it's cheaper than the Peloton, and so maybe more people who are on a budget are buying these, and they can't pump them out fast enough. You know?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I honestly, I think it's they laid a bunch of people off. Their warehouse workers are probably thin. Because I thought about that, but then I'm like, at the same time, dude, so many people are being laid off and work is struggling. Like, not everyone and their mother has $1,000 to drop on a bike. So, and they do have some cheaper versions of the bike too. Like there's the C4 that I guess is their most popular one. I wanted the C6 because I just liked a couple of the features a little bit better. But I mean, it is what it is. It just triggers me that it's like, dude, I'm trying here. I'm really trying. And I feel like this is just a huge roadblock for me. It's not a huge roadblock. It just, I have a mindset of like what I want to do and what I think will help me. And I feel like I just can't get to that point. So whatever. Just whatever.
I got to talk Jen into the Peloton. So
dude, that is it. I'm working on it, but that's one of those things like, gotta plant the seed.
Yeah.
Water it, watch it grow. It's not like a, hey, I think I'm gonna cancel this $1,000 bike that you already thought I was crazy for buying, and I'm gonna order the $3,000 one.
Yeah,
you gotta stomp around. That'll come with a backhand.
You gotta stomp around for like a week about how frustrated you are. This thing, what? 2 months, and they added another month. Yeah. Like you gotta and then you gotta make her feel bad for you about that.
Yeah, and I got the one thing I have in my corner is my kids, they're notorious for getting out of bed after bedtime. So I get the text halfway through my run. Oh, the kids are out of bed. And it's like, well, sorry, I'm like 16 blocks away right now.
Yeah, I can't do anything.
But hey, if we had the bike, I'd be right in the other room. I could hop off and quickly get them into bed and then get back on the bike. I'm just saying. But
I know.
She's not buying it. Maybe in time.
I love getting calls like that. Like I used to get calls when I'm at work. Like, oh my God, there's a spider in this room. I'm like, I'm at work. Like, what do you want me to do about it?
Like, I think what I might do is I might start sneaking them Oreos like as they get into bed, so they get out of bed hella times. And then finally her just be like, I can't deal with this shit anymore. Order the damn Peloton. Yeah. Because my kids, like, they don't eat, we don't give them sugar like on a regular basis. And like if they literally do, I'm not exaggerating. If they had one Oreo cookie, it would literally be like a freaking volcano going off in the bedroom.
Oh, I know.
I would never do that. That'd be fucked up. But damn, that would be funny.
Hey, keep that as an option.
Yeah. Luckily,
file it away.
Luckily, my wife doesn't watch us bullshit. So.
Yeah, so
we'll keep that
between
me and you,
us, which is nice. So,
oh man, how about you, bro? How was your week?
Pretty uneventful. Like I said, we've just been laying low with the new COVID sort of activity that's going around. I mean, we haven't really gone too far backwards. I know there's a certain stigma about California and like, oh God, they're going backwards. But it's like there's a lot of states that are sort of doing this. Testing's gotten a lot better, so there's a lot more people who are getting tested, and there's a lot more positives because of it.
Yeah, that's one thing that like, and I know we have always said we're not going to get into politics, and I want to stick with that, but there's that Trump drama with the whole. Like the more tests, the more positives, which it's like he words it wrong, but it's like, yes, because there are more tests, you are going to get more positives, but that doesn't mean like, it's not because of the tests. Like
No,
it's
I mean,
just
I
it's
think it's because you're getting more people who are like even people who have to get tested because, maybe there's an occupation that says that they need to get tested, or the
yeah,
occupation's doing something to protect themselves. The employer is doing something to protect themselves, and they're trying to contact trace through the work environment. And more people are getting sent for testings. And these are people who are completely asymptomatic, but they just happen to be at risk of an exposure. So there's testing there. And then even some of these people are getting positive test results, and they still remain asymptomatic throughout the entire thing.
yeah,
So it's like it's still super severe on one end, but it doesn't affect everybody the same. And when you're just going off of positive or negative numbers, like as black and white as that sounds, it's not there's always a gray area.
yeah,
And it's understanding the gray area is really, where it's at. But
yeah,
I mean, going back to the week, dude, I mean, like you said, not trying to get political or really down into the weeds on that crap. We've just been laying low. In my personal fitness and stuff, I haven't been on as many runs this past 4 or 5 days simply because we haven't gone too far. I mean, my boys, just things have been getting a little stir crazy. So we've gone
yeah,
actually on a few bike rides together as a family and, just with the boys and stuff. And so, even though I'm not running, I'm still getting some exercise that
yeah,
way. I mean, definitely wouldn't not having the level of workout that I would if I was doing something on my own, but I'm still grateful to be out there and and getting some activity and doing some stuff. But it's kind of cool, like with my little guy Zach. He loves riding the bike and stuff. And he loves having fun and going fast and going downhill. But whenever you come to like a slight incline, it's like, oh, I don't want to do this.
yeah,
So I mean, luckily he's still small enough to the point where like I just ride up beside him on my bike and I reach over and I grab his handlebars and like I go, all right, man, keep pedaling. And then I'm pedaling and he's pedaling and I'm
giving
basically
them
like giving him a tug up the hill, And so it's
giving
like
them a
I
little
get my
support.
workout in that way.
Yeah, nice.
So, but then, keeping up the push-ups and, a little bit of free weights around the house and some squats and things like that. So all in all, just trying to stay active, not trying to stay stagnant. But I am excited for some sports. Let's get into it. But first, we need to crack open a beer. What do you got
Yes.
today, bro?
So I went same route as last week with Pelican Brewing, but this time I went with the big old double IPA. And I love this
Nice.
because it's Pelican Brewing, right? So like their mascot's a pelican, and the name of this one is the
No
Beak
way.
Breaker.
The Beak Breaker.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's nice. It's a good one, dude. 9% and 90 IBUs.
See, I wish they would join the club of like having some like spirited caricatures on their cans and like some cool graphics, because with a name like the Beak Breaker, like you could have done some like wacky thing, like as if you were like it was like a WWE move and like this thing was like do like play on like the back breaker, you know
Oh,
what I
that,
mean?
yeah.
Like it's like, come
Yeah.
on, man, let's get a little more creative than just like the same old like can on every beer.
Yeah, that's one thing they do is like all their cans are pretty much identical, just like a different color and the different name.
Yeah.
But like the name is always up the side, and then it has like the logo in the middle, and then like the entire can is like one bright color.
Yeah, there's
So
some breweries that do that, like Modern Times in out of San Diego does that on all their beers. They all they have like a templated beer can that just kind of change the color and the name.
yeah,
Um, but but I'm into the ones that change. How is it, dude?
it's good, man. This is weird because like we've talked in the past how I don't like the beers that have like that potent bite.
Mm-hmm.
This
It's
one I
super
do,
bitter,
man.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this has it. It has it. It's strong, but I
What's the
like it.
percentage on that one?
9,
9% double IPA. What's the
90
IBU?
90 IBUs.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
like
no
it's there,
slouch.
but it doesn't linger. I think that's what it is like I'm fine at the first initial kick and then like a smooth aftertaste, but like it's the lingering one that I'm like, I don't
But you've
like.
also evolved too.
Yeah.
Like your palate is evolving, with more and more that you
My palate is evolving, is it?
it
It
is.
is.
It is, man. You're getting
I
further
love
away
how
from
classy you are and like scientific you are when it comes to beer.
eh, it's a science, man. It's a craft,
Yeah.
Not that not that I can really brew my own beer much at all, but I'm an enthusiast of the consumption part of it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What do you got?
I have a Double Tap Double IPA from Berryessa Brewing Company.
Ooh,
Winters, California. Berryessa Brewing Company is. I've only seen their beers for the last like maybe 2 years or so. I'm sure they've been around a little longer than that. But yeah, man, this is a double IPA, 8.5%. It's a little tropical. Really, lots of citra hops. And it is good, man. I've had this one a couple times. I've had a few of their beers, and I gravitate towards this double all the time from them. It's really good. They have a really good, just standard West Coast IPA as well, called the House IPA. But yeah, if you see them around, Berryessa Brewing Company, get yourself some Double Tap, man. Really, really good.
nice.
Yep. Cheers, man.
Cheers, brother.
Opening day of baseball tomorrow, man.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk.
Weird that to say opening day in July.
I know, bro. Right now it would be All-Star break.
We would have already had the All-Star game.
Yeah, we already had it. Jeez.
We'd be like talking about the trade deadline coming up, like trying to assess which teams are going to make a push and which teams are going to, just sort of bow out, but
yeah.
Part of me, dude, is so excited for this season because it's going to be such a shotgun race.
That's what I'm really curious about is every game is going to matter. And it's going to be so weird to think of that with baseball because we're so used to like, oh, that's not a big deal. Let this one go. They got 130 games left. And it's like, no, man, it's 60 games. And one game, that could be brutal.
Well, and I know there was a negotiation today going on. I'm not sure if you heard this, between MLB and the Players Association. Essentially, we're negotiating because they would have to get this deal done before the first pitch of opening day tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
The deal would be to change the postseason format this year to what it is that they're trying to implement next year, which would expand the playoff format from 10 teams to 16. Now,
that's like basketball, dude. It's like,
no, dude,
that is like the start of the season.
Check this out, though, dude. The reason that makes that so freaking cool right now is because let's say we're 2/3 of the way into this season. We've played 40 games, and there's a couple teams that are 22-18, and there's another couple teams that are 18-22, and then like you got 20 games left. Every single team is still in the hunt.
Yeah.
Like we're going to have a mad dash for the finish. And I was reading another stat today that, okay, we're playing 60 games and we normally have a 162 game season, right? Well, so every win or every game within your 60 game season is basically worth 2.7 games. So if you win one game, you just won 2.7 games. It's like having a streak.
Yeah, that's a good point, I guess.
Then it's like, but I mean, it's like, so you can say like, oh God, we just won 3 in a row. It's like winning 6 in a row.
Yeah.
In a normal season, or more. It's just insane, dude, because the urgency is like you don't have the ability to let games get away from you or just be like, it's all right. It's just one game, like 162. We got so many more. No, you're getting into like essentially the dog days of August, and there is no winner and loser established right now. There's no front or back end of the cart right now,
Yeah, I get that. And I can see it for this year, but I don't like that idea long term because that's what kind of kills hockey and basketball for me a lot is because they're like that, where it's just like I don't really start watching those sports until playoffs. Like I'll watch some regular season teams, but it's like, dude, the odds of your team not making the playoffs are 50-50. Like I just feel like playoffs are so much more valuable when it's, what is it, 10 teams or is it 10 teams in baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like, I don't know, it just makes playoffs more valuable and like a bigger deal if your team makes it, Yeah.
It's more prestigious, I mean, like it's more of an accomplishment, but
it works both ways too, because at the same time, you only got to go through a few teams where when it's 16 and, it's still the same bracket format, you got to go through a lot more teams, which does make that grind and I guess the championship somewhat more valuable in some ways. But I don't know. I can see it both ways. I don't know. I don't like change when it comes to sports.
Well, my biggest beef with professional playoffs, and it's not necessarily baseball. It's because I feel like baseball has done right by this particular point that I'm going to make, far longer, and still currently does. The issue I have with sports like basketball and hockey with playoffs is they play every goddamn series with a 7-game series. It's like the first round of the playoffs can be a best of 5.
Yeah.
At the longest.
Yeah. I do agree with that.
Especially when you've got an 8 seed going up against a 1 seed. I mean, like, we really got to play 7.
Mm-hmm.
You really want to make them play 4 and do a sweep? Like, you can't just let them play 3?
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. The 7-game series is just crazy. And that makes that, and I feel like when it's just a championship game that's a 7-game series, it makes that much more valuable too,
Yeah, exactly.
So I can get on board
and
with
it's
that.
like basketball and hockey are sports where you always have to have like the off days in between during playoffs. Like you never play a back-to-back during a playoff series in those type of grueling sports. But like in baseball, like even though they're playing 7-game series, they'll play back-to-back games because they do it all year long.
Yeah.
And so it's like even though like baseball, the division round series has always been a 5-game series. And these are guys that play every day. So this one series could be done this week instead of we have the 7-game series that lasts 2.5 weeks in the NBA. It's just, it doesn't move things along very, very fast. But it's going to be an interesting year nonetheless for baseball because not only do they have, the shortened season, but they've got a lot of different rule changes that I know we touched on a little bit in one of our prior episodes, but it's going to be wild and it's going to be interesting to see this. I mean, the DH is going to play its way, into this season quite well. And this is one of those seasons where I'm almost a little bummed that Posey's not playing because he would have got a pretty nice reprieve as a DH for most of the season, and kind of gotten like, almost like the Warriors kind of essentially gave Steph Curry the year off. Like they could have done that with Posey and all he would have had to do is hit like every other day.
Yeah. That's true. And I can see that under any other situation for Posey, but the reason he took off is just so crazy unique.
No, I don't fault him into that at all.
Oh, no, I know you're not doing that.
Just sort of like bummed in the point where like, man, that would have been cool.
Oh yeah, because that would have been a nice tool, man. That would have been a nice tool to have him, not at catcher, which is, definitely nowadays I feel like having him not behind the plate isn't the end of the world like it used to be. Yeah. But man, still having his bat, a healthy bat, would have been we could have benefited off that big time. So
because he's a contact hitter and it's like, he might not be going up there hitting a home run every time, but like when you need a clutch single or double, like there's not too many other guys that you would like to have up the bat. I mean, I'd make an argument for Pablo Sandoval. I'd like to have him up there because he's one of the best bad ball hitters I've ever seen. And if you need a guy to put the ball in play, like he's going to do it. Yeah, more than likely.
He is the new aged Vladimir Guerrero.
Yeah, much rounder and shorter, but
that guy could hit anything, man. So like Pablo, though. Pablo really can. I've seen him swing at some things that are questionable, like
I know,
intentional walk pitches.
I never forget. He hit one home run. I don't even remember who it was or when, but I remember the home run vividly to where he literally dug it out maybe 3 inches from the ground, and
his golf swing.
It went over the fence like a line drive. You know what I mean? Like that's like no one's even swinging at that pitch, but he ends up swinging at it nonetheless, making contact, and it goes out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a good point. I got two things baseball related. One's a statement that I'm sure you'll agree with, maybe not. And then I have a question for you. The statement. The integrated fan noise is weird to me, dude.
Oh, totally.
It's so weird. Like, and it might be because I've been watching like the little short reruns of like WWE on YouTube, where they don't
Yeah.
have it. And at first it was like really weird not having it, but now like they have like these plastic panels up around the side, and they have like their their jobber wrestlers behind them cheering. And it's like it reminds you of how important the cheering is in that aspect, but it's so awkward because it's only like a handful. It's like a dozen people, right? And it's
Right.
like you could so vividly hear them, and it just sounds so fake because it's like a guy like, yeah, you're awesome, you rock, and it's like, dude, this is a jobber. He does the same job as you. He's not a fan.
Yeah.
Of course he can be a fan, but like they're just so out of character. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like, so it's gotten me thinking like,
Well,
dude,
it's
I
so
kind of missed
forced.
not having any fan noise. Like, because this is so
Yeah. I mean, I don't personally don't
unauthentic.
feel like fan noise is needed to be pumped in.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
and so in wrestling, it has been a big difference, but with real sports, no, sorry, wrestling. I said the word real, but
yeah.
it's just weird, dude. Like I was watching the exhibition game today, and I'm just like, this is weird because it's just background noise. It's just
Yeah.
like the between inning people just talking background
Well, yeah,
noise.
especially like the stuff like in between pitches where it's just like buzzing chatter.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
like
and
that
then they
we
get a
could do
hit
without.
and like nothing changes, and you're just like,
Yeah.
this is
I
this is
can
not.
understand if you pump in a little like roar every once in a while, like when someone puts hits a fly ball or makes a catch or like there's
But
something to
see,
be
that's like
clapped about or something like that.
that's what would
But
be weird to me is because like you'd have to have someone there like literally like ready to like, oh, he hit it, oh, okay, roar, oh, no, it's a foul ball, turn the volume down, I don't know,
yeah.
it's just
No, I'm
weird.
sure they got like a whole team
Oh
doing
yeah,
that right
the
now. It's
the
like,
fake sound team.
but it's just like I actually think like they should just embrace the silence and put
Yeah.
more microphones in the dugouts and do all that kind of thing and like make it almost like reality TV, but we're watching baseball and that we could hear all the little like things that the coaches are calling out. And like, I think people would eat that shit up. But I
Yeah.
know that like from a competitive standpoint, like the teams don't want that.
No,
So it's
no, they
almost
don't.
like this
Yeah.
noise is like drowning out their strategies
Mhm.
so that you can still conceal all that stuff,
Yeah.
you know? But
Yeah, it's just weird, dude. I don't know.
yeah,
I'm
it's
just
super
such like
strange.
I don't know. I can't even explain it. It's just I think the wrestling thing was like a bad example because it's fake and like they cover up so much with the noise. Like I remember like I've said this in past episodes where like the first couple matches you could hear the referee like, all right, oh we got all right, we gotta wrap it up. Like under their breath, you just hear like wrap it up, or like some other weird things where you're just like, oh, that snuck through. They're gonna regret that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where with baseball though, it's like it's just different, dude. And like I was sitting on the couch watching this, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle this all year. Like I might legitimately watch these games on mute. Like it's just really weird to me. I might be being dramatic. I'll get used to it, but right now
Yeah.
it's just weird. Just weird.
Yeah, it's strange. It certainly is strange, but I mean, it's the sign of the times. It's definitely gonna be what's happening this year, and it's gonna find its way into football and everything else with no fans. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
But but the
So
Giants have okay. What was your question? You had one more question too,
yes.
right?
Okay. So this is the big one now. 60 game season. Way different than any other season. Awards. Rookie of the year. Golden Gloves. Whatever.
You still got to do it. You still got to do it. It's
Do
just
they
you're not gonna
do they
have the same
come
sample size.
do they
I think that's
come
just what it's
with
gonna be.
do they come with an asterisk?
Oh, of course they do. The
Yeah.
whole season comes with an asterisk. I mean, there's certain things that I was hearing people debate today and one the other day where it's like, there's certain accolades and records that are broken from time to time. Um, and probably nothing's really going to get touched this year, but like you think about potential records that take place over a season, right? Like,
Mm,
oh, he had the most in a single season of this,
mhm.
or he happened to go a single season without allowing this. Like where I'm getting at is like, let's say you got a closer who is consecutively running up saves, okay? And let's say he doesn't allow or for every save opportunity he has, he hits,
Mhm.
and he cashes in on that save.
Oh,
So he
yeah, how it
makes the
works
entire
opposite because they
season
don't play.
without blowing a
Mhm.
save. So it's like even though it's 60 game seasons, okay, well the sample size is only 60 games, but he never blew a save.
Yeah.
Is that a record because it's the season length, or is it
Yeah, I
oh
feel like it
asterisk
can't
because
be.
you didn't have the same number of opportunities as a general season? You
Yeah,
know?
I feel like it can't be. I feel like it has to everything has to be asterisks.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
I mean,
this
it
is
could
like
still be recorded and remembered, but I don't think it'll be held with the same weight and prestige as something over the course of a normal 162 game season.
yeah.
That's my feeling.
Yeah, I agree because I was thinking the other day, I'm waiting for this to happen because every few years we have that guy. It's almost every year nowadays, but we have that guy that starts off really hot with the home runs. A couple of years ago was Aaron Judge. Barry Bonds has had this where within the first, not even bullshitting, first 60 games, they're on pace for 90 home runs.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah. Oh, they're gonna break Bonds' record. They're
yeah.
gonna,
So
yeah.
I'm just waiting for the ESPN bros at the end of the season. Oh, Aaron Judge was on pace to hit 90 home runs. Would he have actually done it if this was a full season? No, they always gas out.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
It's never gonna happen. I mean, maybe never say never, but Bonds' record is a freaking hard one to beat. Excuse me. But it's just like it's like clockwork, dude. They start off strong, and then they realize reality sets in that you got 100 games to go, and they kind of chill out. Not in a bad way, but just like you just kind of have to you find your groove, and you realize as a player, like, you know what, let's just win these games, yada yada yada. So I think we're gonna see a lot of that towards the end of the season, where it's like, oh, if this was a regular season, so and so might have broken this record, or so and so would have gotten this many. And it's like you just can't think of it that way because we're gonna deal with those hot streaks that always go cold, not going cold because they didn't have the time to, and things like that. So it's just gonna be interesting. I think that this season, like you said, is just gonna bring so many different challenges, aspects, and other things that it is what it is. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's just gonna be one of those wild seasons, and we'll see, But it's something I am really excited for because of the uniqueness and the one off, and I'm happy that we are getting at least somewhat of a season.
No, and I'm excited at how different the season's going to be. I mean, I think that's especially, as a Giants fan, I mean, there's not a whole lot to be excited about going into this season, but just the different format in and of itself. Because I feel like the shortened season really gives teams who really weren't supposed to be very good a dangerous advantage to teams who are supposed to be good, because it's like we could play spoiler to a lot of teams
Yeah,
because one game really could hurt teams in this case.
yeah,
Whereas before in normal seasons, you're talking about winning series and things like that. Well, now it's like the series doesn't really matter. It's about every single
yeah,
game really
yeah.
matters.
That's gonna
You
make it
know?
fun. And the other thing I'm really excited for is, I mean, how many seasons do we have that team that, like you just said, that all the stats show that they're not supposed to be good, and they start off strong, and
Oh
then their
yeah.
true colors at around that 50, 60 game mark come out, and then they tank. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
dude, one of those teams literally could have the capability of winning the World Series.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
Well, I
team
mean,
which
think about
normally
it.
would have gone like, through 60 games could have won 45 and then freaking bombed and not even gotten close to like 90, you know?
Well, I mean, like the Giants had like an incredible July last year.
Hmm.
Like that's an entire month where like I think they won like 23 games like out of the entire
Yeah.
month.
Which you're
Um,
saying in this scenario, that's that's almost
that's
70
huge.
games. That could
Yeah.
count as almost 70 games.
Yeah. I mean, they could literally have a huge August and find themselves in first place.
Yeah.
I mean, not that's likely, but I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just saying that could happen to any team. You catch lightning in a bottle like most teams do, even during like some teams streak, right, where they go on a winning streak for 10, 15 games. Like, okay, well, that might be 10, 15 games, but that's the equivalent to 35 games, in a normal season. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And look what if you were to win 35 games in a normal season, what that would do for your standings position. So
Yeah.
winning 10 games in a row or 12 games, or whatever streak it might be, or even 10 out of 12 is really gonna like change, the standings quite a bit. Like this is gonna be one of those like fluctuating years that, teams are just constantly leapfrogging each other. It's gonna be wild. And then you got the whole aspect too where the schedule is so different and so chopped up. You got the AL West and the NL West, playing this like incestual round of like games where we're
Mhm.
just playing against amongst each other. And then you got the Central Division doing the same thing, the East Division doing the same thing. So it's like, you're not going to see any of those other teams until the playoffs. And that's because of the COVID stuff. It's like you
Yeah.
got to do it more regionally, which it's pretty cool actually.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, let's just hammer it. It's almost like being like a college and you're going to play in your conference and then it's like, oh, and then you're going to go play the tournament later, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's going to be an exciting thing and I think that I hope that they do the 16 teams in the playoffs just because I think that it will really get so much excitement in September when we're coming down the stretch because you have so many more teams. You should have almost every team still fighting for a spot if it works out that way.
Yeah.
And you give the hope to everybody that it's possible. And and then you're gonna have like 3 or 4 of these like one game eliminations where I mean, I don't know about you, dude, but those are some games where those are the most watchable games when it's not your team in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
sometimes baseball is hard to watch when it's not your team, but when you have these one single game elimination games or it's a game 7 of some sort, it's like doesn't matter the sport or the team, it's your ass is glued to that chair and you won't move because it's like you're gonna see something historic happen,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
So
those one game eliminations, like I'm sure our viewership has learned by now that I have a difficult time with change. But like when those first came out, I was like, how could you do that? That's gonna screw so many teams. It's not fair. And then after the first one, I was just like, oh, that was sick. That was
well, yeah, because
crazy. It
we
was like
won
one of the
it.
grittiest games, and it's just like because it's
Yeah.
all or nothing, man. And
Well, and they worked out in the Giants' favor, so that's
yeah,
why
yeah, that
we
did.
changed our stance because it's like because first of all, the first one that we encountered as Giants fans, we
Hmm.
we we lucked out by being the second wild card team. So it's
Yeah.
like to your point, if you were a traditionalist and you don't make the change, we would have never made the playoffs.
Yep.
But in this case, we made the playoffs, we win the elimination game, we bump the other wild card team out, and we go on to win the World Series.
Yeah.
So that never happens if you don't make
Yeah.
change, you know?
Yeah. And it definitely brings. I mean, it's debatable. It's absolutely debatable, but I think for the most part, it definitely brings some excitement to the sport for sure.
Yeah.
I think the thing with me and change in sports is big changes that really affect like numbers and things like that. And even the fact that this is a team that should have never technically been in the playoffs is, it goes back to my nerdiness with history. Is it just like how do we count anything from this point on and relate it to past records and things like that, but it is what it is.
But even
And
if baseball stayed exactly the same, you're never gonna be able to compare Barry Bonds to Babe Ruth.
yeah, no, I know.
They trained so
Yeah.
differently, the mo
Well,
they
and it's not.
like
I'm talking like little things that are like for safety and things like that. I'm all for, or like that are absolutely ridiculous. Like I get, but it's when there's a big change that I just feel is not necessary. Like one of the ones that's always kind of been kind of weird to me is the after um in football the extra point pushing that
Mhm,
back.
mhm.
Like, yeah, did it make it more challenging? Yeah, but was it really necessary? Like, was it a huge game changing aspect? Not really. All it did is it totally screwed kicker stats for no
I mean,
real
my
huge benefit.
it's interesting you bring that up because I kind of feel like the PAT is so pointless in football that like kicking in football like field goals per se should only be field goals. They should
Yeah.
never be PATs.
So
Like, it should
I'm on
only
board
be
with that.
that, and then almost every time you're doing a PAT, a point after touchdown in this case, it should be something from scrimmage. And I think that the XFL actually had a good
Yeah, that
strategy
was
on that, where it was
yeah.
like, okay, we'll start you here and you get 1 point, here's 2
Yeah.
points, and here's 3 points. So it's like, if you want to do something creative, do it that way, because the little chip shot is bullshit.
Yeah.
So
No, and that's what I'm saying is like it was the moving it back, like what was it, 5 yards?
yeah.
Maybe 10 yards?
No, it's you snap it gets snapped from like
Yeah,
the
so I think the kick point is 15 yards total.
yeah, it gets snapped
Um
from like the 7 or
but
something like
that's
that.
like is so pointless. It was so pointless. It should be leave it alone or remove it entirely. And I am all for the removing it entirely. I will say you brought it up and I want to comment on it real quick. I'm really actually am kind of bummed about the XFL. I feel like they were onto some things that were really unique and were really going to be interesting. Like
Yeah.
the first game, I only watched one game, but it was interesting. And I liked
No,
what
I
I
really
liked what they were doing.
they had a lot of good things. They did have a lot of good things, and I feel like it's just, I mean, whether the NFL wants to admit it or not, it's a trial run for the NFL. You know, they'll adopt the good things and
Yeah.
they'll throw away the bad.
I just it sucked to see like they called it quits. And I understand it was totally nothing they could have do. It was nothing with their viewership or anything like that. It was 100% COVID. It's just a bummer because like it brought something different. It gave those football players, because I think that's the thing that's the hardest with the NFL is there's, you have your practice squads, but there's no minor leagues. Like when it comes to baseball, dude, there are more players in minor league teams than the majors.
Yeah.
And
But
so
the only way a true minor league system works is if they're both playing at the same time, so you can call them up and down.
Yeah.
The fact with the XFL was that they're playing in the spring. They're trying to maintain entertainment in the off season.
Yeah,
So,
and I get that, and I understand, but it's still like it just gave those players that might not have been good enough still an opportunity to do what they loved, and that they should have had an opportunity to play.
Yeah, I mean, it's a secondary pool of players where the NFL can sign basically free agents,
Yeah.
undrafted free agents who, not everyone's going to get drafted, but that doesn't mean that not everybody should be in the, all those people shouldn't be in the league.
That's proven itself
sometimes
over
they need
time.
another platform to show themselves,
Yeah, that's proven itself over time. There's been numerous numbers of undrafted free
think about
agents.
baseball, dude. They have 3 different levels of minor league leagues. There's 3 different leagues. So you have a team, and then you have 3 more teams.
Yeah. Oh, it's
and they're
crazy,
all in your
dude.
system. And then and like basketball, they have 1. Hockey has 1. But football has 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting.
But I mean, and that's the thing is I think you can technically consider the practice squad kind of like their minor leagues, but I don't even think the practice squad is as big as a regular team.
No, I don't. I think there is a limit to how many people can be on it. I think it might be like 20 to 25.
Yeah, it's not much, man. So,
but yeah, it's definitely not the same size as a full squad.
Yeah.
But before we get too far off of baseball, I do have a question to ask for baseball, and then we can put a bow on this thing. Here we are at the beginning of a odd year. I'm going to ask you a 2-part question about baseball, and then we'll just, it's the beginning of the year. Let's make our prediction. So I want a prediction from you as to how do you feel the Giants are going to do? 60 game. Give me a ballpark record that you think that they're going to hit, and do you think they're going to spoil anyone's party? Do you think they're going to make any noise? What's the most exciting thing that you're looking forward to see from this year's Giants? Is it a player? Is it what our coaching staff is going to do? Is it what our front office is going to do? What is it that you want to see from them? And what is it that, if you see this, is it going to mean a successful season that we can build upon for next year?
Oh, man. So that's a tough one because we are so different this year. We don't have Bochy anymore. The whole coaching design, which I have to give you the credit for kind of explaining that to me, is completely different with Gabe Kapler. where with Bochy in the past, I want to stress the importance of, you know, I researched this quite a bit, but you were the one that really kind of put all the pieces together for me. Bochy very much played the streak, meaning, you know, if a player was hot, he'd stick with that player. Where this design now, the Giants with Kapler, it's very much statistics based. It's almost like a type of money ball where, you know, the design is off of the players and the stats that they should provide, which is going to be a completely different style of play that we're going to see from the past. We're going to see, you know, in the past, we'd see a player come off the bench that we'd be like, who is this guy? And then, you know, he'd get hot for a while and he would be starting for weeks. And then all of a sudden he'd disappear. You know, he did a slump and he'd disappear.
Yeah. He'd have 2 bad games and then he'd get DFA'd.
Yeah. So, but you know what? We have 3 championships to show for it. Like, it worked. So this year, we have some holes. Not having Posey is a unique thing. Not even because of his play, but because of his leadership in the locker room. Like, when you think Giants, you think Buster Posey. And I definitely think he'll be around and stuff, but not in a way where it's going to affect the team like it would normally. I still think with this new design and the uniqueness of the season, to give you a prediction, it's hard. I'll say I'm hoping for a split 30-30. I'd be happy with that. I could see us going higher.
I think 30-30 makes the playoffs.
It could. That's a good point.
Because I mean, you think about it, like a normal season, everyone's talking about, you know, like 500 ball is actually pretty decent ball.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I would like to see that. I think it's possible. Maybe a winning record. Maybe. I think right around that 50-50, either a little bit lower or a little above is right. As to spoiling anyone, I mean, not really. I think Arizona is the team to beat, in my personal opinion, in our division. And I'm saying that because the Dodgers always ruin it for themselves. No one has to do that for them. Yeah. They have, you know, what is it now? 2 or 3 recent World Series losses because of that. Like, we don't have to, you know. Dodgers can do whatever they want to do. They're gonna, and that's not just my hatred for the Dodgers because I'm a hardcore Giants fan. It's the reality as they blow it for themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm not really worried about the Dodgers.
I think Kershaw hasn't shown up in the playoffs yet.
So. I think Arizona is really the team to look out for in our division. I think Bumgarner being on there is heartbreaking for me because I love the Bumgarner, but I think Bumgarner's the type of player where he's going to play angry this entire season. And as hardcore Giants fans, we've seen Bumgarner play angry. And when Bumgarner's angry, that's when he's his most dangerous. I think he's going to be lethal if he stays healthy. I think he's going to carry that team when it comes to pitching. And I think he's going to absolutely give us the middle finger when the time is right and it comes because, you know, I understand the business side, and it was absolutely the right decision to make, letting him go. Yeah. But it's the type of guy that just feeds the fire, man. And when that guy is hot, he is freaking hot. I mean, he has the most dominating postseason performances in the history of major leagues because he played angry and determined.
Well, he's like a shark. He's like a shark who can smell blood in the water.
Yeah.
And it's like the minute he smells the blood in the water, it's like there's no turning back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and right now, man,
that like hits that switch of intensity. And when you see him hit that switch, it's just like he can't be stopped. It's like it's on. It's like he's gonna be on, and it's like you don't have to worry that he's gonna be on.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, this is a guy that there's gonna be a statue of outside of whatever it's called now, or Oracle Park or whatever. It's always AT&T.
Yeah. I mean,
this is a guy that'll literally we will make a statue for And we just, I mean,
He'll
we
be
put the
celebrated
shark.
in San Francisco for a long time.
Yeah, and I mean,
You know?
we literally put the shark in a swimming pool and just dumped blood in the water. Like he's gonna play this season probably harder than he's played any season as a Giant, just to show and to shove it in our faces, which he should. And no Giants fan should be mad at him for that. When he comes into onto our field and he buries us, I really hope Giants fans from home stand and clap because they should.
I know that's going to be one of the most heartbreaking things is like his first return to AT&T Park is no one's going to be able to be there for it, you know?
Yeah, but that's the one thing I love about being a Giants fan is the fan base is amazing to the point where when that happens next year, it'll be like the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll get an ovation. Honestly, probably bigger than you'll ever see any Giants ovation. I can't think of another player that'll get. I mean, this guy single-handedly won us 2014.
Yeah.
By the dude freaking started and then the next game closed and shut it down. 5 innings. Like that's not it. Yeah. That is
Jeremy Affeldt struggled through the 4th inning, and then Bumgarner came in and shut the door for 5. You know?
I mean, like to this day, I look back at that and it's like it's literally like someone thinks this up as a movie, and you don't need to think it up. He did it for you.
Do you remember Buster's little story at the end of the 2014 World Series?
No.
So I think Buster was getting interviewed after the game, after they'd already won. And it was like right after Bumgarner came in the 5th inning. And I think it was like the second batter that he faced. And somebody hit just a fucking rocket off of Bumgarner, but it went foul. And then Posey's like, time, and he went to talk to Bumgarner, and he's like, "You all right, man? Everything good?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm just still fucking getting loose, man. Don't worry, I'll be all right." and then he's like, "They only gave me like 8 pitches in the bullpen. I'm still warming up." You know?
Yeah, dude,
and then he comes in and shuts the door. You know?
Yeah, the guy just. I don't know, man. Just crazy. But like I said, the last few years with us were hard. As all sports are, you've got to think business side. And I'm not mad at either side for what happened. I mean, it's a bummer, but it is what it is. And it was smart. It was really smart for the Giants to let him go, to not have to pay him.
I mean, we have to rebuild, and we've got to basically purchase a lot of pieces, so we can't invest too much into one right now. I mean,
and that's what it comes down to.
The beauty about the Giants situation is beyond 2022, they're tied to no one.
Yeah, and that's what we need right now. And unfortunately, that meant letting go of Bumgarner. And I think we can make a real big
splash this year in free agency,
Yeah, and I kind of applaud them for it because that's one thing that they were terrible with in the past, especially with players like Tim Lincecum. A lot of my friends and family think I'm an anti-Tim Lincecum person, which is not the case. I absolutely love Timmy, but we paid him for things that he did and we're not doing for way too long. Way too long. And I understand that, paying your players what for what they've done, but we paid this guy these little 1-year contracts for like 5 or 6 years past what we should have. So
Tim did he did 2-year contracts, and it was right after Barry Zito had signed for his big one, and they flamed out, and Lincecum got sketchy of signing the big 5-year contract.
Yeah,
so
it was smart for him. It was smart for him, but that's the second one was the one where the Giants should have been like, "Nah, dude. Like he fizzled out, and it was all because of his style. But his style also made him the most badass pitcher for those 5-6 years."
Yeah, I mean that was also during a time where I feel like the organization was trying to, continuously latch on to our winning years and keep those celebrities of players together.
Yeah,
just to keep filling the stadium. But
But
anyway, so I'd love to tell you my prediction about this year.
So let me wrap up by saying, I think Arizona in our division is the team to beat. I think the Giants
Okay.
will have a decent year, but I'm not expecting. I'm not expecting a year anything like last year. I think we'll definitely be better than last year. But we are very far from competing deep into playoffs. If we get into playoffs this year, it's going to be because they signed that deal and it's a 16 game playoff and we sneak in. That's the only
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. I
So
mean, I definitely feel like I mean, the NL West in and of itself between uh between the Dodgers, of course, and then the way the Diamondbacks and the Padres are shaping up to be.
mhm.
I mean, that's already three tough teams in the division. And then you look at Colorado with Nolan Arenado and Trevor Story and some of the guys they have, and it's
Yeah,
just like nothing's going to be easy. And then you bring the AL West into the mix. I know it doesn't look like it the last couple days because we kicked the crap out of the A's, but like they're actually supposed to be a pretty good team this
yeah.
year that's going to make some pretty good noise. And
Yeah,
same thing with
I'm like this in every sport, man. You can never look at preseason
oh
and
yeah,
make a decision on a
yeah,
team. Like it just is the preseason is made for coaches to figure out who they really need to keep, who they really need to let
right,
go, who they need to
right.
do with this and
It's
that.
about trying new things so that you can
Yeah,
evaluate the
and I mean,
process.
some teams they go in there with the mindset of let's try this crazy idea and just see what happens, and completely bomb that game, and it means it has nothing to do with what their team
Well, and a
actually
lot of
looks
it's
like.
an audition too for a lot
Yeah,
of the players you haven't heard of and like, "Oh, can this guy make the roster for us?" and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff, so,
yeah. Oh,
but
I'm sorry. You said one thing I forgot I wanted to mention real quick.
yeah,
I don't want to go into depth on it though, but I want to see Joey Bart. Damn it, I want to see him
yeah,
on
I
the
was gonna
active
touch on that.
roster. I want to
I'll
see,
touch
it,
on
especially now. Like this is the time to do it with Posey out. And I think it's going to happen. I don't think at the beginning of the season, but I think very soon into the season, we're going to see Bart behind the plate, which we should. So
yeah, so, um,
that's my breakout player that you asked.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So so really where I see the Giants going from here, so record-wise, I see them at 25-35 ending the year.
Okay.
I feel that that's gonna be respectable enough for them to still be in the conversation towards the last half of the weeks, but ultimately, they'll just fizzle out
Mhm.
and it'll be somewhat of an expected season. Um, but that being said, I look around like what could be our roster and what could be our starting lineup and all that kind of stuff, and it's like, to be honest, dude, it's like, I'm not all of that upset. I mean, I like the pieces we have. I feel like we've really, I feel like last year Farhan was basically like, "All right, this is Bochy's last year. Go ahead, do whatever you want. I'm just gonna sit back over here and play fantasy football and try to stack the deck as big as we can and make as many deals on the sides and trades and acquire as much talent as I feel can like help us out in the future." And he's done just that. And I feel like, yeah, we don't have a lot of big name guys or anything like that, but you rewind 4 or 5 years ago, even 6 years ago, and he's with the Dodgers, and they were in this exact same position, and now look at them.
Yeah.
He built that team. He acquired so many people through their farm system, through trades and whatnot, and now look at them. Bellinger, all these guys,
Hmm.
Turner, I mean, it's like, so he did this with the A's before that. I mean, he's got a formula that's
Yeah.
driven, it's proven, and as long as you stick to the plan, like, it can work. And I'm excited for guys like Mike Yastrzemski, who came on super hard at the end of the year. Super great story with his grandfather, and his dad, and it's like, you just, those are guys you're pulling for and you wanna
Yeah.
see continuously do well.
Yeah.
And then you got young guys who we traded for, like Mauricio Dubon, who I feel like should be our everyday second baseman, but, they've sort of got him as a utility man playing everywhere, center field, shortstop, second base, depending on what we need or who may or may not be in the lineup. I just like the fact that they're gonna put him in there at any chance that they get.
Yeah.
You know, I think guys like Evan Longoria and Brandon Belt should have a short leash. And if we're really into a developmental year, you're already paying these guys a prorated salary, so you can swallow the fact that you're already paying them less if you want to pull them and put them on the bench. Let's get guys in there who you really feel are your future, because let's be real, you're not going to sign Brandon Belt again, and you're not going to sign Evan Longoria again.
Yeah.
So you don't owe them anything,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, Belt's kind of a heartbreaker for me, man, because I just the dude can freaking hit when he's on, man. He's on, but he has these freaking up and down episodes more than any player I can ever think of.
Well,
It's
his up and
just
down episodes are because it's like he'll get into a groove and he'll be doing like he did last year, like where he'll be doing really well and he'll be like hitting home runs, and you're like, oh wow, Belt's actually going to hit over 30 home runs this year. And then he'll have an injury that sidelines him for like a week or 2 weeks. That might
yeah,
be
it
like
just
some bullshit
tanks.
ass injury. And because of that 2 week absence, he loses his entire momentum.
Yeah,
He is a momentum guy who needs to, like, if he does not play every day and produce every day, he's done.
yeah,
If he, like, even if he's playing every day and he slumps 3 days in a row, he's done.
yeah,
It's like he needs to continuously produce, even if it's just a base hit for his mental psyche in order to stay engaged. Otherwise, I feel like, because if you remember way back when the kid was a rookie, like, he basically beat out Aubrey Huff for the starting job on opening day at first base, but then through an anxiety attack, basically told Bochy, like, I can't start today. I can't play. I can't
mhm,
do this. Like, I'm not ready. Like you've been looking forward to this your entire life, to be drafted, to be in the big leagues, and you're going to be the starting first baseman on an opening day, and you're going to walk into your skipper's. I mean, not too many like managers would have even given this kid a second chance,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And
Very true.
here we are, how many years later? We're
Yeah,
9 years later from, this was 2011 when this was happening, what I'm talking about. Like, we're 9 years later and you've paid this guy way more than we feel he's worth,
yeah,
and he's under delivered on every contract he's ever
yeah,
had. Um, and and what are we waiting for?
yeah.
You
No, I'm
know?
finally like it's finally come around to me where it's time to let Belt go.
Yeah, and I think you let him go at the expense of making Posey your first baseman, and then, like you said,
Yeah,
you got Joey Bart. I mean, it's like, yeah, that's not gonna
yeah,
happen this year because Posey's not gonna be around, but
yeah,
let's go back to the Joey Bart conversation for a second, because it's like, following the storylines before Posey says he's gonna be out was always, we're not gonna touch Joey Bart. Like, we want the developmental path that he's on to continue. Like, he's our future. We're not gonna rock that boat. We're not gonna do anything sooner than we think we need to.
mhm,
Okay. Well, your starting catcher just said he's gonna leave. So all of a sudden, like, that leaves you in a predicament in terms of resources that you have lined up that can fill this spot. And my philosophy is that, like, the minor leagues are completely canceled this year.
yeah,
Yes, they're going to try to replicate a competitive environment with some of their AAA minor leaguers and the guys who don't make this roster to inter squad competitively play games in Sacramento at the Rivercat Stadium.
mhm,
But it's not going to be the same as minor league play on a daily basis,
mhm.
because you're going to see the same people. So my point is if you're going to have Joey Bart in this developmental path, but he's not playing minor league games, you don't want to bring him up in
Yeah.
a
And
fucked up
this dude is
season
ready,
just to
man.
get work.
He's
Yeah.
ready. I don't buy the developmental bullshit. I buy the Posey's still good enough. We don't want to affect that. That's what it
No,
is.
it's that, and it's also the big conversation in baseball is, when you bring a guy up is when his clock starts.
Yeah, that's
How
true
many
too.
years of control you have on this guy and all this kind of stuff, and it's just like, so it's like, if they were to potentially wait one more year, then there's one more year of control they have, and then so it's like, but why are we delaying this stuff just so you can control his age 28th year instead of his age 29th year or whatever? It's like, does it matter if you
Yeah.
really believe in the guy and he performs at 23, 24, and 25? You're gonna fucking pay him no matter what by the
Yeah.
time he gets to that
Yeah,
point.
and he's
You know?
shown in the minors and the couple stints he's had in the majors. The dude is good and he's
Yeah,
ready. He
yeah.
needs to be in the majors. And I feel like at this point it's almost affecting his career negatively. Like
Well, and it's like why at this point, it's like, especially like if you start the season like 3-14, you know what I mean? It's like, why not bring him up? Because it's
yeah.
all about getting the experience at that point,
Yep.
you know? And you're doing the guy a disservice by not giving them this experience.
Yep.
You know, and I think I mentioned to you before just in conversation, but like the Warriors did something similar this year when they drafted 2 new guys in Jordan Poole and Eric Pascal. And it's like,
Mhm.
you know, in a normal year, having Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and like all of our stars healthy, um, you know, these guys would have seen very limited minutes and very
Yeah.
limited roles off the bench as reserve players. But because of our current situation, they're thrown into things and being starters half the
Yeah.
season and getting entirely way too many minutes than they deserve and that they should have had. But Steve Kerr looked at this year as a developmental year, and it doesn't matter how they perform. Like, I want to see them trying X, Y, and Z, and like that's what I'm looking
Yeah.
for. I'm not looking for these results over here. He looked at the entire season as preseason. And like there's no reason why the Giants can't do that, especially at a time where our minor league system is not operating right now.
Yeah. Yep.
So
No, 100%, man. It's
so my prediction on Joey Bart is you will see him at AT&T Park in a Giants uniform playing baseball this year at some point.
yeah.
I think that will
I
happen.
think so
And
too. If we
I know
don't,
they've
that
been
would be
very
the most
vocal.
surprising thing with the Giants this year for me.
They
is
were
if we don't
vocal
see
on,
it.
on how they don't, they don't intend to, go there and do that, but they also
That's
they've
all
never
political
shut the door on
BS.
that shit
Yeah.
either. They never
Yeah.
shut the door. It's like it's almost like they have to say that because it's like it's the smart thing to
They're
do is
trying to,
not to touch
yeah.
him, but like they really want to.
They're trying to keep Bart in their back pocket as their little secret weapon when the world already knows that the dude's good. Like
But
they're
the
not
other thing
hiding
is,
anything.
but remember this. Please remember this. We drafted Joey Bart in the 2019 draft.
Yeah.
Okay. We also got a top 2 draft pick in the 2020 draft who's also a catcher.
I know.
So it's like, okay, you got a backup plan if something goes wrong with Bart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, are we really gonna like top 2 picks in 2 consecutive years and none of them are gonna see the field this
Yeah.
year? Come on. I call bullshit.
Yeah, man. We'll see.
Holy shit.
I think we've been pretty serious this whole episode. I think we need to have some fun. And I know what we always talk about that ends up being fun, and that's how the 2 biggest knuckleheads in the world, which are me and you, are fathers.
Yeah.
And
It's surprising to some.
yeah. For me, it's surprising the most, which I almost take offense to. It's like I know I was a
Really?
jackass. I know I was a jackass as a kid, but like, did you really think I was that freaking worthless to life? Damn, man.
Yeah, I feel like you guys just pumped out a 3rd one just to brag at this point.
Oh yeah, prove you all wrong, fuckers. I can keep 3 people alive. Haha. Gotcha.
And 3 cats.
Yeah. 2 cats. Although I'm not gonna lie, those 2 I would be okay choking out. The only reason I don't is because I don't want to deal with my kids. I miss the cats.
Yeah.
We had a dog. So here's a quick story. We got a dog. Her name was Zoe. Amazing
Wait,
dog.
did you say we had a dog? Like
Yeah.
past tense?
Yeah.
Past
Do you not
tense?
know about our dog?
I know you got one recently.
Yeah. We don't have her anymore. Have
What
I
happened?
not told you this?
No.
Dude. Okay. So we got Zoe, right? At the pound when she's a puppy. Absolutely beautiful. She's a lab mix. I forget what it is. It's some crazy. She's like lab. Herd dog, some kind of herding dog. It's unique. Catalua something.
Just say lab mix and that's good.
Yeah, that's what it is. But
Yeah.
but she was a badass dude. We all loved her. She was super cool. When towards the end of our time in Pacifica, I started getting these crazy rashes on my legs, right? And I just thought, I don't know, maybe hygiene. I'm horrible with that type of stuff. Like, I have this major fear of doctors and everything. So when I have like an illness or something, I kind of shrug it off. So when the rash came around, I kind of figured like, I don't know, maybe I got in some shit, or maybe, I'm just being a dirty bastard and whatever. So
Yeah, which is quite possible.
hey, fuck you, buddy. So I moved up to Portland before my family because I had to come up here and open the new office for my work. And I got up here. I was in a hotel for a while, and my rash went away. And I just never thought about it. I just kind of figured, oh, new environment, place that gets cleaned every couple days. Cool, whatever. Finally, we get into the house, which was fully sterilized, clean before we moved in. The dog comes up, and I'm not even kidding you. 24 hours later, my legs exploded in these hives and rashes like never before. I got tested, and it turns out I'm fucking allergic to dogs.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. So I tried and
You never
tried.
noticed this, like, earlier in your life, like, around, like, your friends' dogs or anything like that?
No, and I think it's a long term, which is kind of weird because I had dogs growing up. Like I had a
Yeah.
German Shepherd, I had a Wiener dog, and German Shepherds are like the definition of freaking. If you're allergic to a dog, you need to stay the fuck away from a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
But I never no, dude. It's weird, but I got tested and it was legit. I'm allergic to dogs. I tried to live with it, like I was like, well, that sucks. I'm gonna have rashes until this dog dies, but it is what it is. But dude, it just got so bad where it was like I was miserable, man. And we finally and it wasn't even me. Like my wife, Jen, she just like she saw it. Like one day I woke up and I was just like miserable. I didn't sleep all night because it's like at nights it's the worst when you get sweaty. Like
Yeah. All itchy and shit.
and it affected my entire body, but it was heavy on my legs. Like it was bad, dude. So she kind of helped me make the decision to get rid of her. But the nice thing about it, and the reason why we did it, is one of my supervisors at work, which is like actually one of our real friends. She wanted a dog. She came over and just kind of hung out, and she fell in love with Zoe. And it just so it made it easier to do it.
Yeah.
And it's cool because good. We still, I mean, we haven't been able to because of COVID, but we still go visit Zoe all the time. The kids get to see her all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure the kids were attached,
Yeah. Well, and they do the whole, like every once in a while, I don't know, I miss Zoe, and it's heartbreaking to me because it's my fault, but it's not my fault. It's not like I got rid of her because I didn't like her. I love the dog. Like she was super cool, but I just literally, like I live with the dog now. And whenever I'm around her, like right now, I like the rash that I got on my legs is because I spent time around Stella, which is my brother-in-law's dog.
Mm-hmm.
Over the last couple weekends, because it's been nice, we've been hanging out and the dog's out and stuff. And my legs just kind of blew up from the rash again. It's just a little different because the way our house is designed, like they're downstairs. I rarely ever go downstairs, things like that. So it works out. But when we do have those social interactions where we're all together, my legs usually blow up. So, so we had to get rid of Zoe, dude.
That's a bummer, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's a catch-22 in both ways because it is nice that we still get to see her. We know she's in a great place. Like my supervisor and her fiance, they made, how people do, like, I guess this is a thing where people make Instagrams for their dogs.
Yeah.
So we've
did got that. Plenty of them that follow our show.
Yeah. Oh, we do. Which is not a bad thing. It's just interesting to me, Don't unfollow. We love you guys. No, I don't think it's a weird. It's just interesting. But they did that, and just like I followed. And
no, I mean that's great for you guys. You get to like check it out.
Yeah, but like honestly, man, Zoe's really happy with them, and it's I can tell. So it makes me not feel as much of a piece of shit because I feel, and I shouldn't, but I do. I had the full intent of just suffering, but like it got to the point where it was, as she got bigger, it got worse and worse for me, and it was pretty brutal, dude. Like my legs, like some like, not to get graphic, but I had some pussy rashes that they got pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I don't know if I mean, because like you're a cat person. Like I'm allergic to cats.
Yeah.
And so,
see, I thought I was a cat person. I don't think I'm a cat person anymore. These two cats I want to choke out 90% of the time.
But like like back in the day when every night, like when we used to party and I used to like crash at your house, like I'd always wake up in the morning.
Yeah,
like,
you'd be fucked up. Oh yeah.
Like I'd be like so freaking like, stuffed up and all that crap. But
yeah.
And so, part of me like was always like, the kids want a pet, like, oh, I wish we could just get a cat because they're like way easier than a dog, so But like, we're eventually gonna probably have to get a dog here. I mean, we all love dogs, the four of us, and my parents have a dog, and the kids want a dog, and I don't know. I think it'll be good for our kids to get some responsibility, and get
Yeah.
something to care for her
Yeah.
and look after. So we'll see.
No,
See
dogs are
what
great.
happens.
Like right now, dude, like I'm actually missing Zoe right now because of my walks and stuff. I'd be like, dude, that'd be cool to bring her with
It'd be
me.
perfect.
It'd be
Yeah.
perfect. But
Or even like, dogs need to be walked. So it's like that's what makes you have to
yeah,
go for a walk.
yeah. So,
So
um, but she's in a great home. She's got a great family that really, I feel like treat her better than we did. Not that we spoiled the shit out of that dog, but these two, because they don't have
but
kids, like
they don't have kids. So it's like
yeah,
that
Zoe
is
is
their
their
kid.
life,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's just really fun to see. It's humbling to see. And we do get to visit whenever. So it's a good it ended in the best possible scenario where it was, a win-win in the fact where I can sleep at night without having these two legs
Yeah.
that look like freaking Swamp Thing's legs and still get to see our dog. So
Cool. That's cool,
yeah,
man.
but the cats, man, these fuckers, dude. These are the two craziest cats I've ever had. Like I've gone through cats throughout my life. And these two, man, like not to brag or anything, but I live in a pretty big house. It's a 3-story house. And these freaking cats, like in the middle of the night, they terrorize this house so much they wake us up to the point where like we have an extra room that isn't used right now. I lock them up in that room every night. Like they have food and water, but like just because they like so they're at the opposite side of the house and they can, we can sleep and shit. These cats are crazy.
So they
Dude,
won't get into any trouble.
Bro, they're so crazy. They have everything they need in that room. I got them a cat tree, toys. It's a freaking big bedroom that's literally empty. Has a fancy cat tree, bunch of toys. They got food and water. You know what these little bastards did? They literally disintegrated the carpet at where the door is in one night.
Like trying to go underneath it.
Yeah, just ripped it to shreds. And like now I have this, like I got this thing off Amazon. It's like a plastic cover there. So like they scratch at that and it just slides all over, like their claws just slide all over the place. But I mean, they destroyed the carpet. They terrorize everything, dude. Man. They terrorize everything.
God.
So,
but take a Mulligan on that one.
Dude, seriously. When they get older, they'll chill out. But it's just like most cats, like they're a year old. And by now, like my other cats that I've had in the past, they've chilled out. They still have their crazy moments, but for the most time, they're pretty mellow. These two, dude, it's like they're on meth all day, every day. And they're not like the normal cats who like sleep all day. No, they sleep for like an hour during the day, and then they're just crazy the other 23 hours out of the day.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, so we have right now we have a hate relationship. I hate them because they're crazy. They hate me because I'm the one that locks them up every night.
You're locking them up, yeah.
But I'm also the one that feeds them. So in the morning, they're hella nice to me. It's like, yeah, that's right. I'm in control.
They appreciate you only when they're hungry.
Yeah, pretty much. So let's chat real quickly on some dad stuff. I got kind of a wild story.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So I want to start this because I don't want to make it sound like we're terrible parents, but the kids have iPads, not like a spoiled way. Like they have me and my wife's old ass iPads. They're like Gen 2 iPad minis or something. They're like 6 years old, I swear. But they have them, and they have access to Netflix Kids, Disney Plus, like the limited kids section. YouTube, we have YouTube TV. We don't have cable. We have YouTube TV. They have like a kids section there, and then they have a bunch of like learning apps, and then they have a couple games like Angry Birds and some like Transformers game and stuff, right? So we have a Switch, a Nintendo Switch, and the games that they have on that is Minecraft, Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart, Zelda Breath of the Wild or something like that, which is a game I actually bought for myself, and I've just never played it. And Donkey Kong. And, I don't want to say they have too much screen time, but I think on a daily basis, they both probably are on some type of screen for 2 to 3 hours. It has been maybe up to 4 hours because of this whole COVID stuff, right? Yeah. So they've been beefing lately because they're getting bored. They're stir crazy. And a couple of nights ago, I got him in bed. I leave him. We have a Nest Cam in our room. So, we can check in on them and stuff. I'm watching them and freaking talking. And Nate has this little trait because he's a smart kid, dude. The kid is crazy. And the reason I let him play the Switch and the things I do is because like Zelda has no voice acting. It's all subtitles. And this kid reads the subtitles word for word, and I take credit for that because at the start when he asked to play Zelda, I was like, listen, Zelda's a little too advanced for you. I'll let you play it, but what you need to understand, and this is total bullshit. I have no idea. I was just like, the story is so important. It's gonna literally like teach you how to play the game. So anytime words come up, you have to be able to read them, and I don't think you're ready for that. Like a total mental mind game with him, right?
I'm ready, Dad. I can do it.
This freaking kid sits here, and the TV's right next to me where I'm sitting right now. So I'll be like doing some work on my computer, playing my own game or whatever, and this dude starts reading these words, and I look over and I'm like, yeah, you're right. That is what that word is. I did not know that was a word. Okay. Like he's reading better than me, dude. So it's like, it's nice, but it's also a little violent, not like blood gore stuff, but you know, he's beating up on some little monsters and stuff.
Yeah, naturally.
And I do give him a time limit. Like he usually only has about an hour. Maybe I'll give him an hour and a half on the Switch. But but this is the mess. This is where I failed as a parent is, you know, during this time, it's too advanced for Luke, but Luke loves doing whatever Nate does. So Luke literally has fun just sitting and watching Nate. Anytime Nate beats something or progresses, Luke's his little cheerleader.
Yeah, he just wants to be around his older brother.
And it's like, at first I was like, don't you want to play? And he's like, no, I just want to. And he loves it. So it was kind of weird for me. Like I used to try to push Mario Kart on him so they could both play.
Right, yeah.
And he does like to play, but he's still like, he just likes to watch Nate play. And Nate's pretty good at games, man. But so when they're done, they like with their iPads or the Switch, they like to continue playing pretend, and they start to fake fight, and then it gets into a real fight, and yada yada yada. So lately they've been kind of acting like little brats more so than normal. So a few days ago, I actually I had time limits on their iPads, but they were pretty generous, and I finally locked them down to where they both have 1 hour of like video watching, 1 hour of gaming, and then like the learning apps I don't put a time limit on because there are situations where me and my wife have to work at the same time.
Yeah,
and we need to be like, just go on your iPad. So I, you know, if they've exhausted their time, I don't want to take the learning aspect away because the learning apps are actually really good. Yeah, like ABC Mouse. There's some like Mickey math thing or whatever. They're really good, so it's okay. So this is where I feel like such a fail as a parent. Nate is really smart, and he has come to the point where he corrects everything. So, for example, you know, their bedtime's 7:30. Sometimes it goes a little past that because Luke is like, you know, literally pulling teeth trying to get him to brush his teeth and things like that. Normal, you know, kid bedtime craziness. Right. So sometimes it'll go to like 7:45, right? And they like, for example, the other night it was 7:43, and I'm like, guys, it is 7:45. It's 15 minutes past your bedtime, and I get this. No, Dad, it's 7:43. That's how long is that? Like, it's 13 minutes. It doesn't matter. Get your ass in bed, you know, like
I'm rounding up, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like figure it out. But he does it with everything, dude. And he does it with Luke. And you know, Luke's still learning. Yeah. So they lay in they're laying in their beds. And I know I had to give you guys the backstory to understand what's about to happen. So they do this every night. I get them in bed around 7:30, and they talk for like an hour. They just talk, they play their little games, whatever. It's pretty harmless. They're talking, and
at least they stay in their beds for the most part.
No, they don't. They don't. They get out about 5 times too. So that it's a whole freaking adventure every night. Most of the time they sit there and they just talk to each other and they play their little, you know, games. And so they play Minecraft every once in a while. And in Minecraft, you kind of like it's a free range sandbox, open sandbox game. It's made out of blocks. You can do whatever, create whatever. There's some little tools in it. There's like, you know, an axe, shovel, yada, yada, and there's torches. And they learned like a week ago that if you put a torch on a tree in Minecraft, it'll light the leaves of the tree on fire and then burn the tree down, basically. So Luke is trying to explain something with Minecraft, and Nate's correcting him. just no, it's not that, it's this. No, it's not that, it's that. And Luke's getting frustrated, and then he gets to the point where he's pissed off, and he straight up says, "I'm gonna get a torch. I'm gonna throw it under your bed, and your bed's gonna catch on fire, and you're gonna die." And I'm just like, "Whoa!" That one from 0 to 100 real fast. Like, they don't understand. Like in some of these games, things die, but it's like not really explained. It's very simple. It's they knock the monster down, and the monster disappears.
Yeah, death in the game is not the same thing as death.
Yeah. So me and Jen, we had to chat in the hallway, figure out how we're gonna do this, and we had to go and have the talk and explain what death was, and and we used Zoe as an example of how Zoe's not here anymore, but we get to go visit her. Well, if Nathan dies, you don't ever get to see him ever again, and they got all dramatic, and I think they kind of understood. But it was so now because of that, I've taken the Switch away. So they're not playing the Switch for quite some time because it just kind of showed me you know what? I think we kind of let it go a little too far. There's some things that they're not understanding the consequences and things like that. So, but the talk went really good. But it just it was just crazy hearing and when Luke gets mad, he has this sinister tone to him. So and then he has a lisp on top of that. So the way I couldn't even imitate it if I tried, but it's dude, me and Jen are in there and we're trying to have this serious conversation, but we can't look at each other because we know if we look at each other, we're gonna start cracking up because it's it's not funny, but it's hella funny at the same time.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations where they just say something and it's you're in trouble right now. This is a big deal, but I can't not smile because it was hella funny. It just out of 0 to 100. It's no, stop, Nate. Stop. I'm gonna take a torch. I'm gonna throw it under your bed, and your bed's gonna light on fire, and you're gonna die. And it's just whoa, what just happened? So it just but
you knew how to articulate that sequence for sure.
Yeah, just okay, time to have a little chat. So
tone that down a little bit, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah. So normal bedtime last night ended up being at 9:00 because it was a crazy, making sure our kids aren't going to legitimately kill each other with torches in our house.
It's early around here for these days. Jesus Christ. I feel like the COVID situation, just we cannot tire our kids out anymore. My kids are used to just 100% being, we're before all this, it's we're rarely at home. We're always outside, we're going somewhere, we're doing this, we're doing that, or we're at the skate park, or we're over here. We're always on the go, and we're always occupying our time. Or after school, we'd go here, we'd go do this. And it's this whole COVID thing, it's just man, it's we used to, 7:30, 8 o'clock used to be a reasonable bedtime, and our kids were wiped out by then.
Yeah.
Now it's our kids aren't even near being wiped out till 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it's it's just a struggle, dude.
Yeah.
And it's it doesn't even seem and then sometimes, I said, we go on a bike ride or something, and it's I feel like they've gotten accustomed to this freaking bedtime now. It's no matter how much I try to tire them out, it's they still aren't interested in going to bed until then. And it's just they're so strong-willed at this point where it's just unless I'm just getting mad at you, I just have to let you stay up,
Yeah, I get frustrated with the whole getting out of bed because I try to we go through the same I've tried all the things, all the approaches, right? The doing something and being consistent with it for X amount of days or whatever, and this and that. I've tried them all, dude, and these kids still the routine now is every night I explain you need to stay in your bed, you need to be nice, not argue, talk, have fun, be quiet, yada yada yada. The only reason you should be getting out of your bed is if you have to go potty or if you have an emergency. What's an emergency? Emergency, you hit your head on your bed or, whatever. Not many options. Pretty much you shouldn't be getting out of your bed.
If your room's on fire, that's an emergency.
Yeah, but it's also but see, they're smart because if I say something like that, they have night lights, right? That change colors. So what'll happen, they'll get out of bed and they'll come in, they'll be like, Dad, I think the night light's on fire. Then I'll go in there and I'll be like, what are you talking about? And they'll, oh, it just changed to the color red. Some bullshit like that. Literally last night, Luke got out of bed. Dad, there's a huge gardener spider on the roof. And I'm like, first off, it's a gardener snake. There's no
Yeah.
such thing as a gardener spider. But let's go
Nice
take a
try,
look at this.
buddy.
And it's like, dude, I'm not even kidding you. There's like somehow a fuzz got stuck to the roof, and like the fan when their room was on because it's been hot up here, and it's just like blowing a little bit. And I'm like, dude, it's just a fuzz. He's like pissed. No, it's I see it moving. It's a spider.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, it's
I
a
can't go to bed,
fuzz,
Dad,
bro.
until you get that
Yeah,
down.
it's literally a fuzz. No, Dad, it's a spider. Like, so I literally grab it and I show it to him, and he goes, "That's a fuzz, but that's not what I saw." It's like the kid can't be wrong.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you know what? I scared the spider off. He's gone. So, oh my gosh, yeah. The nighttime adventure. I don't know. Do your kids share a room?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these guys do too. And I've thought about splitting them up because we have
my kids actually share a bed too. They
okay.
They share a queen size. It's kind of what we had for for so long. But we recently just bought them new beds, and we're sort of in that COVID shipping window.
Yeah.
They haven't showed up yet. But we bought them like they're each like twin beds. We're gonna try to do like the loft bed situation where they have like a desk situation underneath it.
That's what we have.
Get them their own rooms and like all that kind of stuff. Because we have 2 rooms for them, but like they've been in their like the same room just because it's been convenient, and at their young age, it's like it's been pretty cool for them to share a room a little bit. But they're getting like my oldest is turning 8 next month, and then Zach's 5.5 now or whatever. So it's like it's time for them to get their own space, and I think the benefit of having their own room will definitely be their own space, but then B, it's like we'll be able to really get rid of a lot of the crap that's occupying a lot of the rest of the house, and be like, all right, put that in your room now, and put that in your room now, and like we can sort of get some of our own adult space back.
Yeah, we're kind of similar. They're in their own beds. They have little loft beds that we got from IKEA or something. They're pretty cool. But we definitely have the room to split them up, but they're just such best friends, and like I've threatened them with that before. And there has been nights where it's been so crazy that I've literally taken one. We have a guest room that has just a bed in it and a dresser, and I've thrown one in there, and it's like, dude, it's a 2-hour cry fest until they can get back in their room. To the point where like you kind of feel bad, man. And I think it's just like their friendship and their bond. It'll be easier when they're a little older to split them up, but right now it would be something that, like, to do it right, we'd really have to kind of like do some slow transition, and I don't have the patience for that. And most of the time when they're in there and they're talking, it's really kind of fun and cool to listen in and just see what they're talking about. Like they love each other to death, man. But at the same time, it also fuels them just getting up and out of bed. They want to come tell us this, and tell us that. And it's like, sometimes I feel like if they were split up, they would get bored and fall asleep.
Well, yeah, they wouldn't have anyone to talk to, so they would just go to bed.
But I also know them and feel like they'd get bored and get out of their beds that much more.
Well, that would definitely happen in the beginning.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So, but I think we'll just wait. We'll tough it out. And I've also failed at the point of like threatening and not follow through, because their loft beds, they're interchangeable. Like you can flip them and they're on the floor. And I've threatened, like, if you guys don't stay in your beds and be quiet, I'm flipping your beds. And then they get out of bed, but it's like, damn it, this is such a pain in the ass to flip these things. I really don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, he called my bluff. And now they know. And now I think they're catching on. It's like, he says that, but he ain't going to do that shit. Like, I can see it in Nate's eyes sometimes. Like, I literally think he says that word for word in his head. Like, I think he looks at me sometimes and like, out of his mouth, he goes, no, okay, sorry, Dad. But in his head, he goes, you won't flip this bed, pussy. I just see it in his face, dude. Like,
he's like, yeah, right, Dad. You ain't doing shit.
Like, you ain't doing that shit, dude. You're just gonna get mad, huff and puff, and leave the room, and then I'll be coming out in about 5 minutes. Like, I can see it in his face, man.
I know, it's ridiculous.
And I have 3 of them, and dude, the little one, oh my god, today he straight freaking tried to flex on me and Jen. I had him on the floor on his back because I was cutting the boy's hair. And I look over and Jen's like, what the fuck? I look over, this guy has rolled over on his front and he's up on his toes and arms, like legit about to crawl. And it's like, no, bro. You are 5 months old. You need to lay your ass down and stay still. I can't handle you crawling right now.
Dude, you better start handling it.
Like, dude,
Zach was pulling himself up and scaling things at 7 months because it's basically like the little brother syndrome.
Yeah.
When you see two other rugrats just going full bore, it's like you're like, okay,
no, we
I'm
dealt with
chomping
that.
at the
Yeah,
bit to start that too. You know,
we dealt with that with Luke. Luke
Yeah.
got to crawling because he wanted to follow Nate, but I was like, but that was at like the 7-8 month mark. I can't handle it with a 5-month-old dude. Like it ain't happening. I'll put my foot on his back and get him back down before I let that happen.
Physically, he's trying. It's just physically not gonna
But
happen.
nah, but he was moving a little bit, dude. Like,
yeah, it's possible.
yeah.
You know?
So I just,
Yeah.
they grow fast, man. I feel weird though, because like I'm the type where I do take in these moments. I really do. But I'm really looking, like I was telling my mother-in-law the other day, I can't wait for the day that Jack turns 21, because then me, Nate, and Luke can take him out for a beer. And that's going to be cool. You know, because they'll already know what that's like. And I'm still at an age where like I'll be able to relate. So like it'll just be a fun moment. Like I'm ready for them to be older.
Probably have a beer with the three of them before that.
Yeah, probably. If they're mature enough, I don't know.
But you'll be able to, like, you know.
I can see that with Nate,
but
there's
Luke, no pandemic going on in about 20 years.
I mean, I can see that with Nate, but that Luke, that little freaking psychopath, I'm not gonna let him drink until he's at least my age now, 30, 35. He won't handle it. He's gonna be the troublemaker. He's gonna be the one that's living here until I'm like, you know, dying.
Yeah, Zach and Luke are gonna. They're one and the same, dude. If you guys were still living in Pacifica and those two kids were friends, like, holy shit.
Oh yeah. So, what about you? How's your dad life? I know you go through a lot of the same stuff I do.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's pretty common.
We do. I mean,
think it's pretty common for like I consider me an average like chill dad. Like I know there's those dads out there that are just like, I'm gonna say the bitch dads, which are like, oh, my kids all the time. I'm so involved with my kids, which I feel like I support my kids enough. I love them to death. They're my life. But like right now, I'm not like planning out the next week and a half what adventures we're gonna go do. Like I'm chilling, talking to you. I'm playing some video games. Like this is my time.
Like one day. I'm usually like one day out. Like I know what's happening tomorrow, and that's it.
Yeah, that's how I am. But like I have a friend. I don't know, maybe not a friend.
It's like I got to do a few things. I got work obviously from this time to this time, and then I'm like, all right, and then maybe we'll hop on our bikes, we'll go do this, and then I'll come home, we'll do dinner, and then we'll do this after dinner, and then we'll put you guys to bed. Oh, but that's never gonna work because then we'll put you to bed 2 hours later.
Yeah,
you know.
And then finally, I'll get my time. Yeah, I got a dude that I know that he like his alone time is him like planning things that he does with his kids, which I mean, more power to him, but at the same time, it's like you gotta have your own hobby, dude.
Yeah, you gotta have a little more for yourself, dude.
Yeah. He has no hobbies. It's weird.
This podcast is certainly a life-saving hobby for me.
Yeah, it's nice.
This has been so much fun. But yeah, I mean, even more, it's like, you know, like also like I've gotten like you get the kids into gaming and things like that. It's like those are hobbies that you can enjoy with them too. It's like, so it's like you want to be able to, obviously my kids are into sports and whatnot, but like one of the coolest things is I got them into the skate park scene because that's somewhere that I like going myself, you know, and I certainly got more and more involved with it the more that I took them to that, because certainly if they weren't involved in it, I wouldn't just go by myself that often, but it bodes well that they want to go there all the time. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And while they get to play, I get to play, you know? And
that's how we are with baseball here. They both love baseball. And I finally like I think in this weekend, probably not, maybe the following weekend, I'll finally have our backyard to a point where we have some space to actually throw and catch really good.
Yeah, do some wiffle ball or something like that.
Yeah, you see my backyard, this little stupid project I've taken on. I think long term we're gonna flatten a large section of our backyard. So this little dirt spot I have right now, I'm just gonna level it out and put some pea gravel over it, just so we can use it to walk on, not track mud all through the house and stuff.
Mud and stuff.
because I think probably within a year we'll probably demo that whole thing and flatten it and have like some grass. But
Put a little weed mat down beforehand or a tarp,
yeah,
and then put some gravel on it.
yeah, yeah.
You're good
And
to
it doesn't
go.
have to be like perfect because it's not going to be a long term thing, like for sure. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to get it done because like just yesterday I was out there and it's like, dude, like this guy wants to play catch, and we go down to the park, but we haven't been lately because the parks are shut down here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll get there.
Hell yeah, brother. So, yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy, no major stories to report, but just, yeah, it's a daily struggle, especially with the COVID.
Yeah, COVID really adds this
I
dynamic
mean,
that
being a parent is already stressful, and it's
yeah,
already challenging, and it has its daily challenges, and it's like at a time where you can't pick up and go to entertain your kids like you used to, or bring them here, or have them go interact with other kids or
yeah,
do play dates and things like that. It's like you're so limited, and at the same time, it's like we're trying to do everything from the working at home standpoint and maintain our jobs and do all and entertain our kids, and then you got the aspect that's coming up with school where it's like, okay, well, now we're going to add the homeschooling back to this
yeah.
whole formula. So it's just been this tailspin the last like 4 or 5 months where the stress is just it's hard to find relief in it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it's hard to find daily relief just because it's just you kind of feel like it's Groundhog Day every day that you're waking up.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. And like I've always had, not always, but after high school is when I started really having respect for teachers because I was a problem child, you know that, in school with my pranks and everything. And going to college for a little bit is when I really started having respect for teachers, and then more so throughout my life and jobs. Like in all my jobs, I tend to get to the top pretty quickly and then start training and things like that, where it's a teacher kind of aspect. So like I
Yeah.
have major respect for teachers. And like the thought of having to work and my kid here doing schoolwork right next to me, like I'm not thrilled for that at all. Like the
No.
reality of like how, like I'm just realizing like how much school did outside of just giving Nate a place to go and learn and interact, like how much it did for us to have that time to focus on our work and stuff we need
Oh
to
yeah.
do. And
Oh yeah.
like I said last episode, I think it was they're giving us an option for the kids to go to school or stay home, and we're pretty much staying with that at least for the start of the school year, to be 100% virtually. And I'm just like, how is this gonna work? Because like he's gonna have to be probably in our office with us.
Yeah. It's gonna be challenging, dude, for
So,
sure.
and I don't like to talk and give too much detail about my job on the podcast because it is I deal with a lot of confidential information, but I can say I speak with patients. So like the thought of being on the phone with a patient with a 7-year-old sitting next to me asking me math questions, I don't know how that's going to work. So it's going to be definitely a
You'll
big
find a
challenge.
balance. Find a
Yeah.
balance.
I am fortunate that the company I work for, they're very understanding with what's going on. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But
For sure. For sure.
yeah, man. So we're getting close to the end, but I think we've had a segment that I think we can squeeze one in each here that we have dubbed Take a Mulligan, which basically the concept of it is, again, you're the mastermind behind majority of this. This is one of your ideas. A story or a situation that we've recently been in that we, as we got out of it, we thought ways we could have handled it differently
Or done it better.
or done it better. Yeah. So,
Or
uh,
just like, wow, that went horribly wrong, and I really wish I could step back and like do that one over.
yeah.
You know?
And, because you are the classier of the two of us, that is how yours is. Mine is more of a, I wish I could have been a bigger dick than I was. So, but I
Yeah,
want,
go
I
ahead.
want you to start.
All right, so my take a mulligan moment was I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I was like, working from home. I think the kids were like pleasantly occupied at this point. I was like making myself like lunch, and like I was jamming. I was trying to get it done quick. I had like I think I had like another Zoom meeting or something to hit like right after that. And so, um, I opened the fridge. I'm like, all right, what am I going to cook for lunch? What am I going to do here? So, and I got a hankering for just making myself some over easy eggs with some toast and just calling it lunch, right? And so long story short, I whip up everything, I make the food, and I plate it, and it's like I'm like I can almost taste it. I'm ready to go, right? Um, and I do the thing where I got the plate in my hand, I got the silverware in my hand, I got the napkin, my drink, and I gotta go get the hot sauce. So I do the thing where I'm just like, I'm just gonna go grab the hot sauce on my way out of the kitchen with everything in my hand. And and so I
I
end
know
up
where this
like
is going.
I end up like closing the refrigerator door, and like I'm so excited to go sit down and eat. And I just like all in one motion, I close the door and make a right turn, and I just turned too sharply, and I hit like the door jamb right next to like the refrigerator. And not only do I just like hit the door jamb, my entire plate like cracks in half, and like everything just like falls to the ground, and I'm just like in one single second, I'm just like so deflated and defeated, and I'm just like cussing like under my breath, and I'm just like this is insane. Luckily, the bread is pretty resilient. I was able to salvage that, but I had to cook a few more eggs, and like it went from like me being downstairs right now to like, oh my God, like 20
20
minutes
minutes later.
later, I'm like eating lunch. And like, Jesus Christ. It's like if I'd only just put the goddamn plate down on the table, got the hot sauce, applied the hot sauce, put it back, closed the fridge, picked up my plate again, and been on my way for another extra minute, I would never have had to
Not
deal with
even,
that.
dude. That's like 10 seconds.
But like, oh, I'm just in.
Ugh.
It's like one of those. I'm just so hungry, and like this looks so good, and I'm craving this, and I'm just like, I just can't wait, and I just pushed it too far to the brink, and it just backfired in my face.
That's rough, dude.
Terrible
So,
moment.
what was it, like a paper plate or an actual plate?
No, it was like a legit like porcelain plate.
Oh, so you have so you now have the added stress of having an odd number of plates now too.
Oh yeah, like we
Oh,
probably already broke like 4 or 5 of these.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst. Like that's one of my ADD pet peeves is like we've had like this nice, pretty decent like kitchen set for a while. And one bowl, finally, that day came where I'm washing the dishes and it slips out of my hand and just puts a brutal, like it didn't break the bowl in the sink, but like it put a brutal chip in it to the point where
Yeah.
it's really kind of like unusable. So now, like, it's a 8-piece set, and we have about 8 people in our family. So when we have like in our house, and when we have like the full on dinners that we have every couple weeks, it's like, we got that one person has that bowl that doesn't go with the rest.
Yeah, yeah.
It's infuriating to me, dude. That's brutal. So were I have to know, when you sat down, were you still able to enjoy the eggs, or was there this cloud over them, so to speak?
I mean, I still enjoyed them, but like, mind you, like the first 3 eggs I made were perfect, and like the second batch that I made, I
They're
like
rushed.
broke one like while I was flipping it, so I was like,
Oh
so
my
I was
god.
even more mad,
It's yeah. There's
I'm like,
no coming
yeah,
no
it's
coming
like
back,
Jesus
huh?
Christ. Ugh,
Hey man,
but
it
anyway.
happens. It happens.
How about you, man? Taking any mulligans lately?
Yes. So I think our viewership has learned, I'm the asshole out of the two of us. So I tend to think a little bit more on the sinister side. I was in so I do all the shopping for us right now, because if I don't go shopping, my wife has to go, and we have a 5-month-old who is a 100% breastfed baby, so pretty much attached to the hip. So it would be my wife going with a baby, which is just not fair. So I do all the shopping. And I was in Safeway the other day. Now, mind you, I need to start this and give you guys a little context. I'm 6'4". Okay, I don't really look at the ground that much. It's kind of out of the way for me. So I'm in Safeway. I'm in Safeway. I'm just doing my thing, man. I'm doing my shopping, going with the flow. And I come down this one aisle. My mother-in-law always asks for this freaking ice cream. It's like some Weight Watchers ice cream. I think it's called Halo. I've only tried it once, and I can literally say it tastes like air. And it like if you pick up a pint of ice cream, it's got some like weight to it. This thing feels, when I pick these things up, it literally feels like I'm picking up an empty carton of ice cream. I don't understand how she likes these things, but
it's like cotton candy in there.
Yeah, anyways, that's besides the point. So in my Safeway here, the ice cream section where these are is literally like 10 steps up an aisle. Okay. So I go and I have my little routine. I know where everything is. So I try to hit it once. I'm not going all over the store. I like to get in and out because right now, I'm sure most people can relate to this, but like shopping's really intense right now.
Yeah.
Like everyone's wearing their masks. Everyone's giving you crazy looks. If you come within, you have those few people that if you come within 6 feet, they move out of the way real quick and make, they're all dramatic. And I don't have the patience and tolerance for that stuff. So I get kind of frustrated quickly. So I step up this aisle 10 feet, open the door, grab my ice cream, and I turn to go back down the aisle. And there's this little old lady with her cart positioned in a way where I can't get by her. She's at the very start of the aisle. And I'm just like waiting for her to like roll by, and she's not moving. And she's just looking at me. And I'm just like, I don't know what's going on here. And then she finally, like, this is like literally like a solid 15-second stare down between the two of us, which is a long time. If you like literally like stare at a mirror and count to 15. It's a long time. It was really awkward. I'm the type, like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to sit there and stare back and make it awkward. So it was already awkward. And finally, she points like into her cart, right? And goes, "Do you not see the sign?" And I look down. Her cart only has a couple things. So I can see through the cart, right? And through the cart, underneath the cart is the little, like they have it in Safeway. And I don't know if it's like that in California with you guys, but like the aisles are one way now, or supposed to be one way, and the arrow's one way. And I'm walking the wrong way. And I'm in a hurry. I'm at the end of my trip. I'm trying to knock this shit out and get the hell out of the store because I'm already getting like stressed out. And I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry about that. And I walk by her. And the second I turn that corner in my head, it triggers in my head. You freaking pussy. You should have said no because your stupid cart's over the sign. Or, oh, yes, I do see it. I don't care. Like, or, something to give the sass back. And I just felt like I failed myself as a douchebag to not say one of these smart ass comments. So, the name of our show is The Growed Up Show. And every time you start it with is always up to debate. Okay. That is 100% because I am part of this show and I am the most immature 35-year-old father you'll ever meet in your life. So you know what this jackass does? I hold a grudge like no other, right? So I go on the hunt for this lady. I take a breath. I go, you know what? Nah, I'm not cool with this. I didn't like that. I didn't like her attitude. I didn't like her tone. I didn't like that I was 10 feet up the aisle. I'm pissed right now. So I hunt this lady down like a straight creeper in all reality, right? I hunt this lady down. I finally find her like she moved like a ninja, like 6 aisles down, right? I find her. And you know what I do? I look down and the aisle. No, check this out. I look down and the aisle is the right way. So you know what I do? This is how immature and much of a douchebag I is. I go, no. I go to the next aisle and I walk opposite way to the end so I can turn around and come down that aisle the opposite way. And I walk past her, full on eye contact the whole time. Like, say something. I dare you to say something. And she just looks at me with this freaking look of pure, like, terror. And as I'm passing her, I'm like, kind of getting scared. Like, I'm starting to regret this. Like, she's about to snap. She doesn't say anything. I don't say anything. We had the awkward eye moment. Like, it was enough for me to, when I walked by, I was like, okay, cool. She saw me again. She saw I was going the wrong way. In her head right now, she's thinking, that fucking douchebag. I win.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if she did say something, I know myself well enough to be like, I would have chickened out and I would have been like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't notice again. Like, So that's my mulligan, is that I failed to be the douchebag I should have been and said one of those comments like, no, because your stupid cart's over the sign. If you move your cart, maybe I would have seen it. That was my ultimate after the fact goal of what I would have wanted to say.
Yeah, no, but probably went better the way it went, you know?
Yeah. I think it is the little bit of adultness in me that took the high road and just apologized and
Yeah.
moved on with my life. I just have a hard time
I'm
accepting
glad
that.
you walked by a second time just to see if
Oh,
she
dude, it
would,
felt
like
so good too. It felt so good. Just her seeing me walking the
yeah,
wrong way
yeah.
again made me feel good. And I know I'm full aware of how douchey that is. And I'm sorry. I'm okay with that.
Well,
I'm
and in
okay
all
with it.
honesty, dude, like, we have the arrows here in all of our grocery stores too. They're all one-way aisles. But let me tell you, I don't see a lot of people following
No,
those
me
rules.
neither, dude. Me neither.
It's more of a grocery store requirement that, yes, we have these markings on our
Yeah.
floor, and
Yeah.
then they need to have
I,
those,
yeah.
but it's like, they don't have people, like, policing the aisles and saying, "Nope, you can't come up this one.
Yeah,
One
right.
way."
And
You
here's the
know, it's
thing,
like
like I actually like my flow in the Safeway, I just naturally follow the right way, you know. I don't do it
right.
intentionally. I go with the flow. Lately I have been like kind of trying to take it into consideration a little bit, but at the same time, like I go shopping at 7, 8 a.m. on a Saturday. It is literally me and maybe 6 other people in this Safeway,
Yeah. No,
you
it's
know?
pretty tame.
So, and I think that's part of the thing that triggered me is I'm like, really, bitch, it's me, you, and like 3 other people in the store, and you're judging me about going the
Yeah,
wrong way
really?
10 feet
And
into
she
an aisle. Like, come
come
on.
on.
Like, yeah. I think that's really like I talk this all dramatic talk, but the reality is like it was kind of unnecessary on her to like
Yeah.
go that far. Like I could
Well,
understand it if
come
we
on.
were at like max capacity, but I'm not exaggerating or you know when I'm say I honestly think there's okay, maybe realistically there was like 12 people in the entire Safeway. In this aisle, it was literally me and her. When I hunted her down, it was me and her. Like I don't even think I passed another person when I tried to find her. So it's like that's like so
Yeah.
that's what made me kind of like as I turn the corner and I do this a lot where I apologize in situations like this. And it's like someone like and this happens more so in Safeway than anywhere else. Where like someone comes out around the corner hard and almost T-bones me, right? And I go, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then after I'm like, "Why did you say sorry? That was
Yeah.
their fault."
Yeah,
Like
why
if
am I
anything, you
sorry
should have
about
just looked at him like, "What the fuck are you doing, bro? Slow down." But no, I
that?
just naturally I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry." It's like,
I
no,
wish
like
I
I need
wish,
to
like,
stop that.
grocery store carts had, like, horns on them,
Oh
like,
my
you do for
no,
your
dude.
car.
If I'll be honest, if my cart had a horn, I'd be in jail right now. Okay,
'Cause
I would
then you could
abuse
be
the
like
hell out of
then
that.
you'd be like, when that person comes around the corner, normally, if that was a car, you'd be like, "Huh," like, "Idiot, what are you
Oh yeah.
doing, man?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, but that I think that's like with me. Like I don't ever use my horn when I should. Like I have like I said in a few episodes a while ago now. Like I have tinted windows because I have a mean mug problem. Like I wasn't exaggerating. Like you know this. Like I used to have the nickname. Our old buddy Joel gave me this Hall Face, and it's
Yeah.
because I have this look apparently that I can give you that is like the ultimate "Are you stupid?" look, and it's gotten me into a lot of unintentional road rage situations. So like
Yeah.
I don't have tint on my windows to be cool. I have tint on my windows to get me out of those situations when people are being dumb and I give them the look like you idiot. You know, because
Yeah.
it always ends with someone getting pissed off at me because they can see it's like I'm yelling at them through my eyes. You're an idiot, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so yeah, I should use my horn more though. I don't know. I just don't ever go to the horn. I go straight to the like pull up next to him and give him the slow turn look. Like, yeah, you fucked up, dude.
I like laying on the horn and, like, for an
I used to do
extended
that. I
period
think
of
I did that with you once.
just to, like, really, like, let somebody know that they really
Oh
made a
yeah,
dumb,
that's the
you know?
best, dude. That is one that I do enjoy
And
doing.
then
I
I give 'em,
haven't
like,
done
the
it in
thumbs up
decades.
afterwards instead of the middle finger because 'cause I'm like,
Yeah,
"Good job!" Like, "You
yeah.
really got it.
Well,
You nailed it,"
okay.
you know?
So that's something. This is something that reminds me of something I learned from my grandfather. Is like when he would screw up driving and people would honk and flip him off. He would. I'm not even kidding you. Give this like double. It was so he did it so naturally. But he'd give like a double look real quick and then wave and he'd act like he knew the person. And I never like as a kid growing up, I would be like, dude, that's a really weird way to react. But as I got older and I started watching the interaction, you could see it in the other person's face where they'd be like, oh shit, did I know that person? Like,
Yeah.
do I look like him? And that was his goal is to make them think that
Yeah.
he knew
That they
them and they
flipped off
knew
one
each
of their
other, and
friends.
then like
Yeah.
they felt like a jerk, and it totally worked every single time, dude. Every single time, because he'd like do it and he'd have to focus on the road, but I'd be the one that I could look back and keep watching them,
You
and
could see
every
the
time you could
aftermath.
see them just like, oh my god, who, like you could see it in their face, the thought going through their head of, oh my god, who was that dude? Like, was that my boss? Like, who did I just flip off and honk? You know, it was just
Genius.
perfect, dude. And he would do it every time. So I've caught on to that. And like when I do a jackass move, which is, you know, I'm a pretty good driver nowadays. I used to not be, you know that, but I'm pretty chill now. But every once in a while, you know, you fuck up.
You care now.
Yeah. But like every once in a while, you just fuck up. My notorious thing is like 4-way stop. Like I hate the whole like, oh, you get there with someone else who's gonna go first, so I just go. But like I know it's like it can be awkward sometimes.
Well, you don't know because you're left-handed. You're always supposed to let the person on your right
shut up,
go.
dude.
Since you're left-handed, you never understand which way you're supposed to like let somebody go.
God. I'm
The
surprised
right of way
it took.
is to the right. That's why it's called the right of way.
You shut your mouth, okay? I'm surprised it took you 7 episodes to jab me for being left-handed. All right, you freaking prick.
Won't be the last.
I know. Well, thank you for taking this long. I appreciate it. There's nothing wrong with being left. You know what sucks about being left-handed is everyone and their mother tells me that left-handed people are artists.
Nothing wrong with being left-handed, but there's nothing right either about being
left-handed. Oh my god!
Can you?
I'm done. Can we just let's wrap it up? I'm done. I'm going to bed. I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was something that was always funny that he used to do, and I do it now. When I screw up, and someone honks at me and flips me off, I give like a smile and a wave. Which I guess to some people are like, with my left hand. All right. Let's wrap it up. I'm mad now. I'm done. I'm going to bed. You pissed me off.
It's because it's closer to the window, right?
You know what, dude? Okay, you got it. Let's move on. All right. Fucking asshole.
All right, man. Episode 7 in the books. There we go.
This prick Dan Barros.
Oh, we had fun. It was a good one.
All right, man. Yeah. If you guys toughed it through our ridiculousness, thank you very much. If you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, like all the YouTubers say. It's so weird to me, dude. I'll get better at it, but like and subscribe. It really supports us. Okay, I'm going to say this. I'm getting mad. I want to see some comments. We want to interact with you guys. We want to know what you want us to talk about. We want to know your opinions and stuff. So throw some comments. If you're not going to like or subscribe or give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, throw a comment. You know, even if it's like, hey, Dan's pretty cool. Anthony's a jackass. I'll take it.
Or even some of the questions that we had, like, hey, tell us a Mulligan story, or like, what's your prediction about the baseball season, or you know, hey, you got a beer that we should try. Let us know.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be
we're
awesome.
Into it.
So
join the conversation somehow.
Yeah, and our listeners that are listening in on either Spotify, iTunes, Google, or Stitcher, you know, we have a Twitter and Instagram that you can definitely interact with us there too. We want to start seeing what you guys have to say. So, but thank you so much for watching. I'm out because Dan's a jerk and bullies me for being correct-handed. So, what do you have to say, Dan?
Let's keep everything right this week.
You asshole. Goodbye.